This episode is brought to you by Smitty's Beard Sauce. No beard required. Whether you're going with Smitty's Beard Scorcher, the Scotch Bonnet, the Ghost Pepper, or the Sweet and Spicy, just know this is the best damn barbecue sauce on either side of the Mississippi. Get yours at Smitty'sBeardSauce.com. This episode is also brought to you by Nighthawk Footwear, the first and only gaiters equipped with lights in today's market. This, my friends, is a game changer for anyone that enjoys the outdoors. Light your path and get you a pair of lighted gaiters at lightedfootwear.com. What's going on, everybody? This is Ron Legal with Ron Legal Outdoors on Instagram, and we are recording another fucking episode of Journeyman Outdoors after about probably a year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute. Ran into some mental blocks and had to get that taken care of so I could focus on this full time and, be fully committed and into it. But I figured we would go and jump back into this episode kind of where we left off. I got my guests, John and Josh, here.
What's up, partner?
What's going on, guys?
What up?
You guys have met them before. If you've listened to the show, believe it was episode 2 or 3 that you guys were on.
Something like that, man. I don't keep count.
Yeah, it was right. It was right in the beginning of everything. But yeah, last time on the show, we talked a little bit about hunting Florida, what that's like. Kind of talked about some of the goals that we had for the 2024 season, and I think we should go back to season 2024 on the start of this episode because there was a lot of things that we talked about that we want to accomplish, and I think everybody pretty much fucking hit those, which is awesome.
Yeah, a lot got done.
I know Josh was talking about killing a public land buck and ending that dry spell.
Thank God, dude. Thank God.
Let's hear about that buck.
So I didn't do any scouting for it. My brother had scouted. It was my brother's permit. I didn't know if I was going to hunt with him every day with it. I knew I was going to hunt with him every day with it. But essentially, I didn't do any scouting. I was doing other things, scouting other places and stuff like that. And, excuse me, Jonathan had found a really nice spot with Eric, and they got into a little nice covey, and it was real good. It was a really good cove, and it was right by the road, barely any walking. We had to get there. So we got up in the hole, essentially. It's opening morning. I didn't do any scouting, like I said, and we walked up in there, and we post up. I didn't know what tree to post up in. A little bit of bickering like we always do, and we get up in the tree, and first light comes around, and it's kind of quiet, and we have a gang of bucks come out. A small buck. Jonathan sees a huge buck come out, and I thought it was the buck that I shot, but we'll get back to that later. So they come out, they do their thing. We're shitting our pants like usual, and we're watching them, and they're just outside of range. And they leave, and they're gone for about an hour and a half, and we're, acting like jackasses. And
I shot and missed. I shot at the one buck. The buck was like at 50-something yards.
How many came in? About three bucks. Damn.
3 bucks.
And I fucking let one rip, and I totally fucked it up. I totally screwed that one up.
It happens, bro. It definitely happens.
I was feeling like a jackass. I was feeling about this big, And what do? You just sit there and kick yourself in the ass for the rest of the morning, expecting you're not going to see shit. You can keep on with the story.
Lose
We were having
a week of sleep.
Oh, of course. That's a given regardless.
Yeah.
But
Those things tend to haunt you.
yeah, we started to make light of the situation and, acting like jackasses in the tree stand like jackasses do. And it's probably about 9:30 or 9:45. We're like, all right, it's real hot. It's August. Excuse me.
No,
So-
it isn't. It's the end of September at that point.
Okay, so it's the end of that's right. It's the end of September, and we're out there, and I get out of the tree. I'm out of the tree. John's still, meandering in the tree, but he's working his way down. And as I'm, getting my stuff together, John goes, Buck, 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 it's coming in. It's coming in. Get ready. Get your bow. And
I literally handed him. We were getting our shit packed up. I literally handed him my bow down. So there was literally nothing I could do in terms of whether I wanted to shoot or whoever had the opportunity to shoot. But those 3 bucks came back.
yeah, all 3 of them came back.
But
shit.
the one that he'd shot came in ahead of him.
Yeah.
There must have been a hot doe somewhere in the area that just piqued their interest.
I hadn't seen a doe until well after that hunt. And I had sat there by myself. I hadn't seen a doe.
Yeah, I hadn't seen a doe the entire time I was there. I still actually, now thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen a doe in the area because I go with my brother. I've only been there alone probably twice. So, anyways, we get back where I'm down. He calls out the buck and he's got the rangefinder on it. And it comes out and I try to wait for the most perfect shot, and I'm already pulled back all the way. And I pull the trigger and the fucking arrow goes clear over his back, just like a foot over his back. And I was like, oh, fuck. And he ditches and runs and makes a big horseshoe and comes right back to the same spot that I shot him, except for like an extra 10 yards back. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to fucking shoot this with the same pin. I'm going to use the same shot. I'm just going to redo everything the same. And I shot him and it sunk the arrow and the thing takes off, and me and Jonathan are fucking jumping for joy in the tree stand. I shot my buck.
I was watching real close, and I knew.
Did it donkey kick?
I knew that he had sunk that fucking that arrow into that deer.
Yeah. So when the arrow, it left my bow and it, did its trajectory, made its flight, hit its target, and it sounded like a fucking pop, like you popped a balloon under a blanket. And I didn't care at the time, but, John ends up getting out of the tree and we start looking around and scouting for it.
No, we don't even do that. We can't. We have to sit there and wait for, 20 minutes while those other bucks are just hanging out in front of us.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, the bucks are just hanging out there, just chilling. They're like, what happened, man? Where'd that other guy go?
It's funny how that works out sometimes. Like I've shot at plenty of not deer, but plenty of hogs. You shoot them, gun them down right there, and they'll still come in. They'll eat right around the dead hog. They don't give.
Oh yeah, I've shot quite a few hogs, and the other ones are just like, hey man, why did Jimmy leave, dude? Did Jimmy leave?
But to hear about some bucks doing it, that's crazy because usually they're skittish. I mean, that was pretty early on in the season, but
oh yeah, especially down where we were at. Yeah, they're pressured.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people after them, and just to see more than one buck hanging out with each other, I was like, damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
how often do you get to see that on public land?
right.
Yep.
And so we're waiting for these bucks to screw off. We're just hanging out, and Jonathan's getting video and stuff like that, and I'm sitting there at the bottom of the tree. Jonathan's still in his tree stand.
Were they smaller bucks out front?
Both of them were smaller bucks,
okay.
yeah. But he swears the one that
One
me and
was
him were-
not far. One was not far off from the one that he had shot, and the other one was well under, probably a year and a half old or something like that.
Yeah.
probably just under legal or just at legal, But that buck that I had shot, or that he had shot earlier, me and him were arguing back and forth. That's the buck that I shot now. I'm thinking that that's the buck that I shot now. He goes, no, bro. The buck that I shot was a way bigger buck. It was way bigger than that. And I was like, no, man, that was the same buck. That buck that's dead in there is the same buck that you shot at this morning. He goes, no, I don't think so. Whatever. So we go out. It takes probably about 45 minutes and 50 minutes. John finally gets out of his tree and we start heading down towards the cypress head that we seen it last. And the first thing I do is I want to look for blood. I want to make a trail. I start dropping pins on onyx where I see, nice blood.
Right. Were you in a spot with a lot of water?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was
Okay.
ankle high water everywhere. There was not.
That'll
There
make
was
it
not-
easy.
Yeah,
At
no,
all.
there was
That,
not any-
that changes things.
Oh yeah. There was not any spot that didn't have ankle high water. Everything had water. So we're heading in and we find it takes about 50 or 60 yards, but we finally see a speck of blood. And I'm telling you, a speck of blood that looks like I couldn't even describe how small it is. Probably
Yeah.
the size of a grain of rice. And I don't know how we saw it, but we were like, oh my God, now we really got to backtrack and see if we missed blood. So we backtrack and see if we missed blood. Made sure we didn't miss any blood, and we start going forward. And we're finding even smaller specks of blood now. It's like, oh, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this right now.
Been there before.
So, yeah, it sucks, So we push a little bit forward and we find a little bit more blood. And I'm like, damn, we find more blood and then we find less. And I was like, I hope this deer didn't just, take off 2 miles away and now I'm not going to be able to find it. So I back out and I start calling people and looking for a dog. And I find someone that does have a dog, but they're like, 3 hours out. And I'm like, I wasn't worried about how long it was going to take them to be out. The deer is probably somewhere where there's shade more than likely and I'll be fine.
Typically they'll go and they'll try to bed down in some really thick shit.
Oh yeah. And that's exactly what they did. He bedded down in some really, real shaded and real thick stuff. So we back out, we're calling around and stuff like that. And we start looking at the radar. This is probably about, at this point, it's an hour and a half, closer to 2 hours. We're pushing 2 hours out from when I shot him last. So I had come back out. We're looking at the phone, talking to people looking for a dog, and we're looking at the weather at the same time. And we start to see that the weather's starting to roll in. And whatever blood is there is gonna get washed off.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because the weather is not gonna it's not gonna help us any.
You know how Florida is. That rain's serious.
It shows up out of nowhere. It was bluebird skies in the morning. We had a great day.
Yeah,
there was barely any wind.
Starts.
Oh yeah, of course. So, one of us makes the decision to go ahead and go on in, and we walk. And I let my brother go in. I was a mess at the moment because I was like, damn, I really hope this buck didn't get lost.
We were 2 hours after shoot. After he had shot. At this point, we were looking for him for 2 hours.
That's a hunter's worst. Just we hate to hit an animal and then not be able to recover it or think that they're wounded out there because we always want the kill to be swift.
Which happened to me this year too. So I didn't feel great about that. I spent all day looking for that thing.
Yeah. I remember you sent me the picture. I was like, I'm pretty sure that deer is probably still alive.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
So did you guys end up getting a dog out there, or?
No, we didn't end up getting a dog out there. The rain looked like it was going to start coming in, so me and Jonathan sat there and pondered for a minute. We thought to ourselves, like, should we go in and risk jumping this deer? Because there was it was like a 50-50 chance it's still alive. I shoot like shit. So
You were using a bow, you said?
Yeah, I shot it with a bow, so I knew I shot it a little bit far back. Like I said, when we had shot it, it sounded like, popping a balloon under a blanket. And so it didn't sound good. It didn't sound like I hit it somewhere super vital. And me and Jonathan sat there and argued for a few minutes, and we were like, should we go in and go get it, or should we back out and wait for a dog? If it rains, Lord knows if the dog is going to find it. Most dogs will find it.
We were on the way out. We were deciding we were going to dip out and wait for a dog.
Yeah. I had gotten contact with someone that did have a dog, but the weather looked like it was getting worse on the radar. And we were like, come on.
Now or never.
Yeah, it's now or never. So we decided to go in, and I let Jonathan go in first. I was a mess.
We were on our way out, and I had decided to check what I had thought was a game trail of sorts. And I decided to walk in. It was getting to the thickest part of the cypress head that we were in, and it was starting to get a little drier. And I was walking through some kind of like an opening between two palmetto heads, but I had to push through the leaves and shit like that.
Yeah, like I said, they're more than likely going to go and bed up somewhere that's really thick.
Mm-hmm, and as soon as I pushed through, there was a little clearing, and it was full of these little ferns. And I took another step, and I seen its ass right there in front of me. And I just told him I found it, and this motherfucker started jumping up.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Tears started rolling down.
Oh yeah,
he dropped to his knees.
Oh yeah.
No, that
started
was after,
pointing to the skies.
That was right when he shot it.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. That was right. At least hitting it.
That was right.
Yes, I hit one.
That was right when he shot it. He was just like, I think he was crying before the deer was even out of the area. So, he was like that, like Luke Bryan. Did I get him? No. Did I get him?
Yeah, I know what video you're talking about.
Boy, put them teeth away before you cut us out of this tree. So yeah, we ended up finding the deer and we dragged it. It was already dead. It had been dead for a little while. It started getting stiff.
So where'd you end up hitting them?
Far back, on the.
It was a liver shot.
Liver
Yeah,
shot.
roughly. Yeah, something like that.
So he had barely shed any blood, but he had filled his whole cavity up with blood, his whole body cavity up with blood when we cleaned him out.
Yeah, when adrenaline's running, it's just
yeah, he pumped all of his blood out, but it stayed inside of him. You
Yeah.
know, so it was like an internal bleed. And we ended up pulling him out. It was like I said, it was a relatively easy walk, so it wasn't that hard to pull him out. But it was super hot, and the rain just didn't. It was, you know how it gets real hot and muggy right before it rains, and it's just miserable right before it rains. That's how it was, and it never rained. So it was like that for like the rest of the day.
yeah.
And we ended up taking the deer out, you know, going to check it out, gutting it of sorts and stuff like that. And so we ended up doing our thing, checking it out. Like I said, we gutted it and we got it out. And, you know, fast forward, like, what was it, the year after the beginning of this year, we go out to the same spot. John was like, man, we pulled another permit. Let's go out there. I'm going to go sit in the same spot. It's a good spot. We know there's bucks there. So we sit out there, and it's probably about, I'll let you take it away from here. You know, it's,
Man, we get out there, and I'm fucking more excited than shit because I know that place is covered up in deer to go and sit. And we get there. I think we're running like maybe a few minutes late, so we're kind of hustling. We know it's not a bad walk. It's a little drier than it was the year before. We make our way out there. We get our shit set up, and I'm sitting in my stand, and we had just finished getting ready, getting settled in.
bickering.
Yeah, we bickered a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. Blew past me that I didn't knock an arrow, and I didn't have my release in my hand. You know, we had walked to our stand so fast that I was just cooling down. You know, I was relaxing for a minute there, and I didn't even think of knocking an arrow or putting my release in my hand. And sure as shit, first light, you know, you're starting to see shit. And a gnarly fucking buck comes walking out, and he stops, I don't know, 15 feet away at the foot of my stand.
He comes walking out, looking up with his head down, looking up at the trees. So it's like freeze. You know, he was, imagine coming around the corner and someone already looking at you and making eye contact before you even come around the corner.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
it's not like I could even do anything.
That
Yeah.
buck
So it
was
was like
that.
I had noticed him. I seen his antlers, the flash of his antlers behind a bush, and I'd seen him come out in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fucking screwed." You know,
He was looking.
there was
up.
nothing I can do. I wasn't gonna Hail Mary it or screw it up and try and
How far away was he from you
He was
guys?
15 feet away. I could have freaking probably jumped out of my stand and rode him home.
Yeah, he was super close. And I'm
He
over
was-
here.
he
I'm
was
over
a
here
nice
telling
buck.
Jonathan, shoot him. Just get your bow and put an arrow in it. Shoot him. And Eric, not Eric. Jonathan didn't want to spook him. I understand him. You know, he didn't want to blow the deer out of the area. The deer
Right.
will come back.
That was in vain because
Clearly, they'll come back.
because we come back. We decided to skip out for whatever reason. Josh had plans prior. It was his permit, so I couldn't go out there without him.
I went to the Keys for Memorial Day.
Oh, that's exactly what it was.
So
So
we
it
went-
was Labor Day.
It was, Labor Day.
It was Labor
So we
Day.
went on. The permit was on Labor Day. So we hunted. That first day of the opening morning was Saturday. So Sunday I went to Key West, hung
Okay.
out, and then Labor Day I came back. So I was fucking running on like 10 hours of sleep in like 2 days. I had went all the way down from that spot all the way down to Key West and came back and went to the spot. Back to
Straight
the
from
spot,
there.
Straight from Key West.
Yeah, after the Keys.
So I had been gone from home already like 3 days, you know, going on 4 days by the time me and him were hunting there. And we pull up to the spot and we're familiar with the check station guy. And he's pulling out as we're pulling in. And he takes our names down. He sees, you know, it's good old boy, you know, we're cool with him. So
Yeah.
we end up talking to him and he pulls up to the spot and he didn't recognize us for a second. We turn off our lights and he recognizes who we are. And he goes, "Oh man, you guys should have seen the deer that got pulled out of here yesterday." And me and Jonathan look at each other. I look at Jonathan. I'm like,
I had seen a truck when we were leaving that prior morning. There was a truck about, I want to say, a half mile or 3/4 mile down from us. And And I already had known, I knew where he was. We weren't, we were far enough from each other to not hinder on each other's hunt, but he was hunting the same deer. And sure as shit, he had shot that deer. And I just felt like we had got all the way the fuck out there, and I really felt like just fucking going home.
Yeah, that's kind of
Right there from the car. Like we had all of our shit ready, bows in our hand, and this guy's coming down the grade, and he's like, yeah, you should have seen the deer that got pulled out of here yesterday. And
that's heartbreaking.
yeah, the deer that we had seen, I told Jonathan, I was like, that thing had 9 points.
He had showed us a picture, and sure as shit, that was a deer.
But I told him, I was like, that thing had 9 points. And John was like, you don't know if he had 9 points. I was like, bro, he was close enough to count those fucking antlers.
Yeah, he showed me that when I seen the picture of the buck, the guy had a picture of the buck at the check station, and when I seen it, I already knew that was the buck that we had seen that morning.
Yeah, and that goes back to the year before. That was that buck that John had shot at early in the morning that we didn't see again. But
sucker already looking into the woods from where we had shot at him prior.
A year before, and he got shot out of.
Yeah,
and he only got shot out of there once. It's not like a bunch of people were after him.
Right.
But he was looking right in the spot he got shot out of that early morning the year before. So he knew
that's
what was
just
up.
how smart they are, man.
They're not dumb. They're
At
not
all.
dumb. So yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking. We sat there that morning and kicked ourselves in the ass. Why did I go to the Keys? And, I already had prior plans.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to fluke out on someone when I say I'm going to be there. So
I think it was ruined from the time that, although that was the second time we had run into him, the one time that was the year prior, but it was, I think it was screwed from the time that he left, that he bailed out there the first time. I think it was not destined to happen. And it obviously didn't happen.
yeah, it was for someone else.
Destined to happen to someone. Yeah, exactly.
It sounded good because TJ had told us, the guy at the check station had told us that the guy had worked hard for it. He was scouting hard. He was traveling far. He had been there religiously, chasing that.
At least
buck,
went to somebody that actually put in the fucking
Oh, yeah,
work
he
and didn't just
deserved it.
show up there their first morning ever going to this place and
Yeah, the guy deserved it. I give it to him. Kudos to him. He worked hard for it. If we were just out there because we knew there were deer out there.
We were just lucky. I was just grateful that we had pulled that out of that permit.
I
He
was
had
lucky.
pulled the permit
Honestly,
again.
I was lucky because John could have shot it. It was his permit.
yeah.
So
Just
that
like
was
my
cool.
buddy says, they got to be lucky every day. We just got to be lucky once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes a lot of perspective. That's good. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you feel better for missing
You got to have some kind of coping mechanism to
something, man. You gotta
get through
You
it.
gotta
'cause
get by because that was like I almost put myself in a facility after seeing that buck.
I
can
think
imagine Jonathan.
I think 90% of the people that hunt at some point in their life are going to miss something. I personally haven't missed one yet, but I know the day will come, especially with a bow.
Yeah.
And
It happens. It happens. Sometimes I've learned that if I'm not super confident in my shot, I'm not going to take it.
yeah,
I'd rather.
I'm
not
the
take
same
it.
way.
Ask Josh how many ducks he missed this weekend.
Oh,
Or this
man.
week.
Shit, I missed quite a few this week.
Some people are on one day and they're knocking them out, and somebody
I was
else is
doing-
having a shitty day, and then the next time it could be the next person. It's like you trade places. Because I've been that person that's had some shitty fucking shots, and then I've been that person that like, damn, Chris Kyle, what the fuck you doing out here?
I got a video I'll show you here that I took yesterday of it was 4 of us. We had 3 model ducks coming in. 3 or 4 model ducks coming right in. They
4
were
of 'em,
feet
yeah.
down. They were feet down, getting ready to land in the spread, and someone calls a shot. Someone lets the first shot out, as as anybody would when they're feet down in the spread, and everybody just unloads on them. And I'm videotaping because I had already shot my model duck. Everybody shoots their duck and or everybody those 3 ducks come flying in and everybody misses. Everybody unloads on it and everybody misses. I'm like, what the fuck?
I knocked fucking.
What the fuck just happened out there?
Yeah, I knocked some tail feathers down off of one of them, but I was like, I don't know what the fuck happened because I was right on that thing. I'd say I probably shot too late because Eric fucking called the shot and he didn't even shoot. I was kind of waiting for that first shot to go off, but
Yeah.
I wanted to be on
Play
point.
backup.
I wanted to be on point.
Well, usually if you're calling the shot, you're waiting for somebody else to shoot so you can pick up and shoot.
Right.
You're already on it. You're calling the shot for somebody else. Usually whoever's calling the shot is, kind of ahead of the game a little bit.
Yeah, I shot tail feathers off of one. It kept flying off. Yeah, we educated quite a few motts yesterday.
Yeah. I went out, it was like 3 weeks ago. I went out and was with 2 other guys. One I had met through work, and his buddy ended up filling the last spot. And a single mock came in, and I hit that thing, knocked feathers off of it, and it started to roll midair.
Yep.
Next thing you know, this thing says parkour. It just picks up, it opens up its wings and starts flying again. And they both hit the duck too, knock feathers off of it, barrel rolls, takes off and keeps flying. So I don't know what it is with Mott's this season, but
They're tough. The birds are tough, man. They're
Really
they're
tough.
They're not sensitive, but I mean, some of the teal are sensitive. But
Listen, I've one of the hardiest ducks are going to be the wood ducks, and I had a fucking hunt last year that they must have all been wearing bulletproof vests because I was smoking them.
yeah, dude, that's the first time I ever seen
I
him
was
put the gun
smoking them,
down.
and I just gave up. I quit. I had spent already.
A
I
box
think
of
I
shells.
ran through a box of shells trying to shoot 3 wood ducks, and I didn't even connect. I would connect, all the time. I mean, and just like this, I think it was opener or just after opener here when I was back home. Fucking me and Josh, I had a wood duck come flying through our spread, and I go to shoot it, and you could I'd watch it move because I'd shot it, and it dropped a little bit and just picked up and kept flying. And it's like, what the hell are these motherfuckers wearing? Are these motherfuckers got flak jackets on or
yeah,
something?
well that's like that spot that we went to in the Cypress where we were wood duck hunting, and that pair of mergansers came in, and you had nailed the female,
Yep.
and the male was like, I don't even think that thing was like 10 yards away from me, and I pulled up my gun last second, I shot it, and it hit the water and took a dive, and we never saw
I went
that
running after it, and it dove right in front of me, and it picked up, and I lunged for it, and I could have swore I grabbed it when my hand hit the water, and I picked up my hand out of the water. I was right there on it,
Yeah,
and it was not in my hand.
Deer-
It was gone.
ducks are next level.
Yeah, the ducks, wood ducks and ringers to me are the toughest ducks. They have bulletproof vests on.
I don't know, man. That Mott took, I don't know how many, 9 shells and still didn't die. I saw feathers just flying off this direction, that direction. I'm like, all right. I felt like John did that one day. I just want to put my damn gun down. We ended up getting a limit that day, so
That's
it's a
cool.
good thing we didn't. But
Hell
it's just when in the moment, it just makes you feel defeated for sure.
Yeah, I ended up putting my gun down also this season. I went to a spot that everyone figured out about real fast. I got invited to it. I took a new guy that I've been taking out, my buddy Tony, and we went out to this spot. Like I said, I got invited. We went out. We stayed all night. Slipped up in there. Of course, the reason we slipped up in there is because my buddy knew that there was going to be other people there, regardless of the day of the week that it was. It was during the week.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So we slipped up in there, like I said, and we post up. We throw a bunch of decoys out, and the whistlers come by early in the morning. They did it pretty good, but they were just they didn't do it real good. They just did it all right.
Yeah.
It was like they came over, they flew right over the spot, but they were a little bit high. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't like shooting birds that are up.
No,
You're gonna
me
lose,
either.
especially in that area. You're gonna lose them real easy.
We got some real thick stuff down here, and it's just not worth it unless you're on like Lake O or something like that.
Yeah. And even the other day, we were on a permit. We shot a coot. The coot was 3 feet away from me, and we were like, "All right, I don't need to mark that bird. I can see it every time I look at it." And we turned. My brother goes, "Hey man, where'd that bird go? It was 3 feet away from me, and it was gone. So something took the bird."
Them soft shell turtles, man.
They pick up the decoys, and they're already back over there because they're pissing their pants. We were right off the levee.
It was deep water.
And me and Eric had sat out and watched some birds work for a little bit. And we're packing our shit up. We're getting out of the reeds. And I see a fucking otter, which this isn't the first time that an otter's fucking taken my ducks. But once I seen the otter, I already knew that's where that coot had fucking gone.
Yeah,
Is that the weirdest thing that's taken one of your ducks before?
that's
An
the
otter?
second time that's happened to us.
That's the second time that's happened.
And if I had to
That's-
say the weirdest thing, you usually by rank, it's the first one that's going to take your duck is a soft shell,
yeah, I've
and
had
the second one is going to be a gator, and I didn't expect the third one to be an otter.
Well, I'll
know?
give you a fourth one. I was duck hunting one time. This was years ago. And sitting there, we see a good group coming in to the left. and out of nowhere to my right, I see something coming in. So I go to swing my gun. It was an osprey coming, picks up the duck, hauls
yep.
ass,
Yeah,
straight
we
took
see-
off with my teal.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. I've seen
I've
that.
watched that happen. We had there's an area that we hunt south of us that the first time we were there, we were scouting, and we had come across a shit pile of teal, and there was a osprey. We were watching the teal all morning, just work. We were just fucking, like kids in a candy shop, knowing that we were gonna fuck it up the next day,
Yeah.
or, the following week. And sure as shit, we're just watching that osprey, and we see him just start diving and picking up those teal, and the teal aren't quite getting the picture that they're getting fucked with.
I thought the osprey was just playing with him. I
Yeah.
thought the osprey was bored. I didn't expect him to pluck one out.
He had scooped one up, plucked one out, and was playing with it. He'd pick it up, fly up about 50 feet, 75 feet, drop it, find it again, pick it up.
It's like,
do
why
that.
isn't this thing moving?
Yep.
Bro, there was one point where he picked it up real high, dropped it, and tried to race it down.
Because in their mind, they're like, I got to kill this thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's more than likely that teal's going to die by the time that osprey grabs it. Those things grab hard.
Yeah.
They have sharp claws. But at that point, that thing was just playing with it. I'm sure if it was still alive, I mean, don't get me wrong, ducks are hardy. They'll go through a lot, but I don't think I think that osprey was playing with it.
Yeah.
For sure. So, yeah. Two things I wouldn't have expected to see is an osprey take a duck out of the water, which is one of the coolest things I ever seen. And the first time that these otters took some fucking ducks from us, it was opening morning last year. We were wood duck hunting, and we find a really good spot, but the area is kind of thick. If you don't shoot birds right on top of you, and if you're not shooting the birds at the right time, you're gonna end up losing birds. So
Nobody wants that.
no. So but we didn't lose any bird. I think we had lost one bird. I shot a few times, but these guys were snipers that day, so I was kind of holding back a little bit. And we're there, and Eric ends up getting closer to us. He had shot a duck. Jonathan had shot a duck. Eric shoots another duck, goes and recovers it. So Eric's on number 2. He's got a hen, he's got a drake. John's got a drake, John is looking for his drake. And here comes another duck. Eric shoots it, and we mark it. I seen the splash. It's not too far. Eric waits a minute, 2 minutes.
What kind of duck was it?
It was a wood duck. And so the thing lands, and he goes over there, and sure as shit, he rolled it over. That thing wasn't surviving that shot.
Yeah.
It hit the water so hard. It hit the water at
I've seen
Mount
Eric
Jesus.
shoot.
Yeah.
he could shoot.
He could shoot. So I'm like, Eric, go over there and get your duck because this stuff is tall. We don't want to go losing ducks. And as soon as I said that, something goes moving in front of us and swims right in front of me and my girlfriend's feet. And that was not cool. You were like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And it swims, and we see
It's
it.
it's still pretty dark. Like you could see up in the sky, it's getting bright, but you look down at your feet, and you can hardly see your feet at that point.
Like, yeah,
Early flight.
Water's about knee high.
There's way too many gators down here to feel comfortable in a situation like that. You feel something brush past your leg like that.
Yeah. I'm looking down. There's not much room in this where we're at. So if anything is in front of me, in front of my feet, it's gonna be moving the grass just past it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking down. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it's not moving much around. And I look ahead of me a few feet, and I see an otter pop up. I'm like, oh man, I got nervous because I know what otters can do. And so I have my gun in my hand. I'm ready to smoke one, but I don't. I'm not gonna shoot an otter if it's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So one pops up, swims by. Another one pops up, swims by. Another one pops up, swims by, and a fourth one pops up and swims by. And I was like, "Oh my god, dude, we got the whole
We're outnumbered.
we got the whole crib here, dude. The whole family is showing up, and they're heading in the direction of the duck Eric just dropped. And those things swim way too
They're
fast.
fast.
So
Really
as soon as
fast.
Eric starts getting out of the blind, those things are over there by where that duck is. Eric goes over, sure as shit, right at the spot where we seen the splash, where we watched it, and he goes over there, and duck is gone. There's no duck there. And he rolled that duck over. That otter definitely took his duck. For sure, it took his duck.
I'm gonna start hunting otters because I'm fucking sick and tired of that
That's
shit.
the second fucking time. The first time I was like, they're mischievous, whatever.
Yeah.
And then,
Cute little cuddly little things.
yeah, I didn't expect that to happen. That was bullshit. Now I'm starting to think about taking an otter back for every duck. For every duck that takes my otter, we each get an
We
otter.
got 2 to take so far. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much.
So far, we do got 2. I need a nice pelt inner liner for a jacket.
I got them right in my backyard.
I'm thinking I get a nice pair of assless chaps.
Gonna need a lot of otters for that.
Nah, I think you get 2.5. I think.
2 otters, and you make a good front side.
Everybody's gonna be like, how they come up with that math so quick?
You see me in the woods, they're gonna be like, "Why does that guy got pants on, but he doesn't have pants on?"
Damn, that guy's got furry chaps on.
So going back, I know we were talking about what we wanted to accomplish in 2024, and one of the things Josh said was his buck, and we talked about that already. What was yours, John? I don't remember what you said. Do you remember?
No,
No,
I'm asking the wrong guy.
So,
You're gonna have to go listen to push.
yeah,
pause
we're
on that thing and listen to the
we're gonna have to
podcast.
listen back on that one. I know mine was to kill a pintail,
Hell yeah,
And-
that was a nice pintail.
and it was the the third week into January, so season's almost over at this point.
Yep.
Out there, took another hunter with me, and they weren't paying attention. They were on their phone. I'm coming back from taking a piss over in the freaking reeds over there, and I'm walking back, and I see one single duck flying in the air, just all angelic like, and it comes down, feet down, all in slow motion. I'm just watching this thing, and I'm
Comes
like,
down sexy, huh?
sexy, bro. I'm like, yo, I've never seen a duck do it like this before, and I was like, I can't really ID it. And I start creeping, getting a little bit closer, and I'm like, that's a fucking pintail. And the second I say that in my mind, the thing shoots up in the air. And the second it picked up, I got a green dot on the front of my CZ, same CZ you got.
Yeah.
And one shot, boom. That Kent freaking rolled this thing, and I was in knee deep water, so I couldn't drop to my knees and put on the Academy. I couldn't put on the Academy Award winning freaking performance, but yeah, man, that was a big moment for me because I had been trying to knock that duck off. I turned 31 last year, so freaking 13 years I was trying to kill this duck since I've been duck hunting, and the moment finally came, and it was like no other. Like you see ducks come down, feet down like that, and you're like, there goes a mott, there goes this, there goes that. This pintail was different, bro.
Yeah, the pintails are something else, man. I seen some in a spot the other day. I swear they were pintails, so I'm gonna go with them being pintails. And they looped around, and I put myself in the spot that we were at where I seen them yesterday. And they looped around, they called, and they were flying real fast towards the wind, surprisingly. And they weren't going real slow like when you usually see pintails. They're up high and real slow. These things were low and steaming. They were flying real fast. So
I will say one thing out of the duck world, fucking pintails got some of the best eyesight by far. Because I've seen them plenty of times before. I just never had a shot opportunity to connect on one.
Yeah.
And they see any kind of movement, they're out of there.
Oh yeah, I bet. So I don't have enough encounters with them to know that. So, but I see them do a big loop around me, and they ended up somewhere, and I was like, damn, where'd those ducks go? And about an hour later, they picked up again and did another loop around me, real far. And I knew they were out of there, but I knew they had definitely seen my mojos. They got close, but they were like, yeah, nah, we don't want it.
Would you have some flock flickers or?
No, I had some
spinners?
regular spinners. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, pintails are. I'm hoping I shoot a few of them this weekend.
Yeah, I can't. Wait.
Well, I'm hoping the group shoots a few of them this weekend. I can't shoot more than one. So.
Pintails are fucking overrated.
I heard they're raising the limit next year down here though.
For pintail?
Yeah,
To
right.
2. So
Yeah,
they say.
right.
That's what I heard in the grapevine.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
No, that's someone talking shit, in my opinion.
I hope
That's
they're
someone out
right.
there, man, it's getting kind of boring around here. Let's see if we can stir the pot.
Yeah, right.
Where'd you hear that? Florida Duck Hunters?
No, it was not. Somebody told me word of mouth. Actually, one of the guys I was hunting and I shot that limit with.
Listen, I don't think you're gonna hear that on Florida Duck Hunters. You're gonna hear that on Savage Fowlers. They're gonna try and get people like that on Savage Fowlers. That's that type of page. That's where the misfits wind up.
So
People that get kicked off of Florida Duck Hunters just go find their ways down to Savage Fowlers in Florida. It's no secret.
since we're on the topic of ducks, let's hear about this ruddy duck story.
Oh, man, take it away, Chip.
Yeah, last year we're hunting the marsh, and sure as shit we get our permit and we're in there and it's pretty slow. all around. I think we shoot, I don't know, 3 or 4 birds. I think
Something
we
like
shot
that.
4 or 5 birds total. But what I swear, just outside, I don't know, must have been another 60 yards outside of our spread is a grebe, floating around, eating and shit like that, doing this little dive, coming up, disappearing for a few minutes, and coming up and just doing the same shit. And Josh is looking at it and he's like, dude, that's a fucking ruddy duck. Look at it. Look at its face. It's white. And I'm like, I had never seen a ruddy duck before. He had shot some early, opening day of that season.
He never seen a live one.
I had never seen a
I
live
brought
one.
him a dead one. That was the first duck that I shot opening morning last season.
Last season.
Yeah. Or
And-
two. Yeah, last season.
And this thing is doing its thing just like a fucking grebe does. And you're not supposed to shoot grebes, So I'm like, just naturally, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not.
Yeah, you
not-
got to be sure. You're second
I'm
guessing
not
yourself.
getting a fucking ticket.
Hell no.
So I'm looking at it, I'm like, me and him arguing for like 45 minutes, almost an hour.
This thing's sticking around
at
that
least
long?
45 minutes.
At
And it's
least
just hanging out
45.
at the decoy. I have ruddy decoys out there, and they look like they got their summer plumage. They look when they look good.
Yeah.
So these decoys, every time I see a duck looking at the ruddy decoys that I have, because I painted it, I want to paint them how I want them to look. I don't give a shit, So it's got its cool looking plumage, and these ducks, the ruddy duck was just kind of checking these out. I was like, yo, bro, you guys kind of look funny for this time of year. And I've seen ringneck ducks be like, yo, what the hell is this? Look at this. Not even looking at the ringers, looking at the ruddy duck, like, yo, what is this?
Yo, guys, come look at this.
Pow! So we're sitting there arguing, and I'm like, bro, just go over there and shoot it, because at this point, it's starting to get a little bit farther and farther and farther. And I tell him, bro, just go behind those cattails and go smoke it.
But it's like, what I'm hearing is like, yo, bro, go over there and get this ticket.
Yeah, right.
Go pick up this ticket.
You're not
'cause
sure. So.
I'm not completely convinced that it's a ruddy duck.
I am.
He's just he gets to festers me up to a point where I'm just like, all right, fuck it up. At this point,
Have
I'd
you-
rather get the ticket than listen to this.
You've never
fucking
killed
guy.
one before?
I had never shot one at that
All right.
point.
So Josh was looking out. He's like,
Yeah.
bro, seal the deal.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't know that. It wouldn't surprise me. If
I
it
was
like,
sure. I was sure it was a ruddy duck, because I had seen the white, not white, but it's got a bright patch, and I guess it does have white feathers on its cheek, but it looks like a funky, it looks like a funky ringer
Yeah,
when it's swimming. It looks small and it looks weird. They have a funky looking bill. When they swim around, they kind of do look like a grebe when they swim around, which kind of told me it's like, that doesn't look like a grebe, because a grebe is smaller than a ruddy duck, but a ruddy duck is not that much bigger than a grebe. So I think like a regular sized ruddy duck is probably the size of the biggest grebe you'll ever see. So I know when I ended up shooting mine opening morning last year, I had shot one. I thought there were a bunch of teal just swimming. I had paddled out and around, because we were seeing ducks, and we seen them. I thought I had seen them land back there. I don't know what I was going out there for. So I had paddled away from the blind, and I see 6 ducks just swimming. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm going to see if I can get close. So I get close. I make sure my gun is all ready and loaded, and I pull up, and these things are starting to speed up a little bit, and I just pull up my gun, and I just unload my 3 rounds, and I drop one stone just belly up automatically. The second one was like dove and then got up, and it was injured, splashing around, and it dove. And I went for that one first. And then I seen another one pop up like right next to me. So I shot at that. I had reloaded by then. And I had shot at that one that was left of me again, but it had dove real quick. It was like fucking sea duck hunting. They were just diving and popping up and diving. So I ended up shooting that one, picking it up before it, miraculously came back to life. And I think the other 2 that I had shot had dove and drowned themselves and got stuck under the mud. So, but I had ID'd the ruddy duck, and it looked exactly like what, I was telling him, dude, that's not a grebe, that's a ruddy duck. So we sat there and argued, and by the time he was getting ready to shoot it, he goes, who's paying for this fucking ticket? I said, we will split this ticket if it's a grebe. And he goes out there and shoots it, and he gets all the way out there, and he goes, it's a fucking grebe. And I go, you're fucking lying. He goes, nah, yeah, you're right. It's a ruddy duck.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Something I never expected to shoot down here.
Not like that. I've never seen them flying. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
me either.
They just pop up. You know, they just swim out, and it's like, what the fuck is that? You know, or you swim up on them.
Just got to be at the right place at the right time.
I
I
guess
guess. 'Cause
so, which is-
I've never seen any flying.
I don't know, bro. I've been saying this a lot lately. Also, it's
You know
like-
what? Hold on. Hold the po- me. You want to hear something? Have you ever seen? How do you think a coot migrates? Because I have never seen one fly more than fucking 50 feet.
Me either.
Yeah, he's
So-
been saying that. And I was like, yeah, you're kind of making a good point. I've never. I mean, I've seen.
I think they're just here.
No, I don't think so. I think
No, they
migrate.
show up. They show up because I've hung. You know, I used to work out in the swamp and shit, spraying, and it was they weren't always there.
Yeah.
They just show up one day.
I mean, during duck season, man, they're freaking dime a dozen out there.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
I
everywhere.
understand that they migrate overnight and shit like that, but like, I
You don't ever
just
see them
can't.
crossing the road.
I can't picture them. You know how when you shoot at a duck, sometimes you see that motherfucker almost fly 3 counties over, and you're like, all right, peace. You
Yeah.
know, I've never
Never
seen
seen
a
that
coot
with
do
a
that.
coot.
I've never seen a coot do that. Usually, you can see a coot land, not far from where you shoot at it. So,
Because I know there's a lot of local ducks that just don't fucking leave. They just stick
Right,
around.
yeah. There's
and-
some coots and there's a lot of moorhens, and there's some. I see some coots, in the middle of the summertime, but not in the numbers that I see now. It's just He makes a good point. How do you see? Where are the coots coming from? Are those government birds?
Yeah,
right. There's
fucking
government.
FWC drones.
Yeah, and when you shoot one, where are the batteries? where do they? So yeah, it's the ruddy ducks are funky.
they're in the
When-
heads, man. Nobody looks in the heads, man.
No, no
you
one
know?
cuts open the brains.
They put a chip in the brain.
Watch battery in there.
Yeah, transponders, man. They're like government mojos.
That's that. That's why people don't eat coots, man.
I got a few in the
It's
fridge.
they're like
That's not true.
it's like
I'm gonna eat some this year. I got a few in the fridge.
I got a bunch too, but I haven't tried it.
They apparently eat just like duck. I just don't like cleaning them. They're tough to clean. Their skin is tough. I breast birds. I don't give a fuck.
Most people are like the RFK of ducks
Yeah.
when they talk about coots.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna fill the freezer this year. I want to get some good duck meat in the freezer. I don't care if it's a coot. My buddy Lewis. Shout out to my buddy Lewis. He's a coot shooter. He's a coot shooter. motherfucker.
I know Lewis.
He
I know
shoots
Lewis.
coots, man, and if it's slow, it's not slow for Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis got coots.
2
so-
weekends ago, I went out. It was a pretty slow day. I'm like, what would Lewis do?
Yeah,
I
shoot-
fucking
shoot
I almost
Lewis.
limited out on some coots, boy. And I sent him a picture, and he was like, "That's what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
He's all about them coots.
Yeah. So, what the point I was gonna make about the ruddy ducks is, a lot of people say the shoveler is the ugliest duck. I think shovelers are some of the coolest.
Yeah,
looking
they're
ducks.
fucking badass.
They're
to me.
studs. But to me,
I
ruddy.
think all that stigma's ending. People are seeing things for what they really are. That's a
Yeah.
fucking pretty duck.
Yeah,
you know.
boot lips is cool, man.
Yeah.
Boot lips is actually really NOG.
Yeah.
But ruddy ducks are fucking ugly, especially because they don't have their. Every other duck. The later you get into the season, the nicer plumage you get. You get nice stud birds. Ruddy ducks, you shoot them in January. We'll say it ends this year, the 23rd, or excuse me, the 26th.
Yeah.
You shoot one on the 25th, and it's probably the ugliest fucking bird you ever pulled out of the water. So they just look funky. I don't like ruddy ducks too much. They taste the same. They eat the same. It's all the same shit. So I'll shoot them, but
Why not?
Ringers
I'm
are
not gonna
tough to
mount a
clean.
ruddy duck anytime soon.
Ringers are tough to clean.
Yeah, I don't like cleaning ringers, but they eat the same. It's
A lot of people complain about ringers. They say it's like the shit duck of the duck world. But
They don't know how to cook.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't know how to
I think
cook.
ringers are pretty damn good.
they eat the same. If you
Yeah.
marinate it and cook it slow, you wouldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Make it into fucking pulled pork. Some people are like, "Oh, what kind of pulled pork is this?" Duck.
Got you, motherfucker.
Gotcha, bitch. So yeah, I like marinating my duck. That's what makes it real good.
Yeah.
So that's a pro tip, even though I'm not a pro. That's probably not a tip, but
So before we got into, actually it was when we finished the last episode, we were talking about a story that we didn't get to record, and that was Hawk is Good.
oh yeah,
Let's get into that.
oh yeah. So-
we've been talking about this for probably a year straight of
Yeah.
just getting this on the show.
Yeah, it's a joke now at this point. It's funny as hell.
As soon as we see a hawk, it's usually the first thing we say when we see the first hawk. It's hawk is good.
Yeah.
And so we were in some cane fields. You know, shout out to FWC for fucking shutting down the cane fields because we used to be able to hunt out there.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw that
yeah,
post you
fucking
made.
sucks.
I don't know if it's FWC. They just have to enforce it because
Listen, it was on their website and they took it off. So, you know, that kind of fucking sucks.
You let us down, FWC.
Yeah, man.
Shame.
Yeah, shame.
yeah, don't start talking shit when y'all don't pull permits.
I ain't pulled a fucking reissue in like all season. So
Hey,
I don't care.
last time we got on the show, you were like, "Man, I'm pulling. I got the system down packed, boy. I'll
Yeah.
tell you about it after the show."
Yeah,
and now
and I
this
did it.
season, they listen
Yeah,
to the
now you
podcast.
gotta
They're
talk
like,
crickets.
yeah, it's crickets.
oh,
and
you
I'm
got
like,
the
"Ah,
you got
fucked
this
up."
code to the streets, huh? All right,
Yeah,
bet.
yeah. Don't I guess
2024,
don't
you're
share your
screwed,
fucking
boy.
secrets, huh? So this hawk is good story. We were out in the cane fields and we were doing some dove shooting. You know, we had a few doves. I'd filled my pockets up. You know, I had probably about 6-7 doves. Jonathan probably had the same. And we're hunting this big old dirt mound.
This isn't gonna get anyone arrested, right?
No, I mean
right.
maybe the guy that did it, but he's I don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, fuck him.
Go,
This is
go.
already-
I think statute of limitations are over at this
Yeah.
point for a hawk.
Probably.
I don't know. It's already been quite a few years.
Yeah,
4,
it's probably
3, 4
been 3 or
years.
4 years. So
All right.
so, but I don't care. We're just this is you'll laugh.
I don't think anybody cares
So
at
we're
this point.
we're dove hunting and we're just having a good time and we see this white truck pull up and you know get real clear. He turns down the grade and pulls up real fast and slows down probably about 1,000 feet away.
Think he was a shot chaser?
Gets real slow. Nah, I don't know what he was, but
I think he's a dude that just rides around with a gun and shoots what he can.
Real country
Yeah.
shit.
You know?
I guess yeah. I mean, to each their own. So he pulls up and he slows down real slow. He sees us with our guns. You know, he knows we're dove hunting. Maybe he was trying to get to that spot. Who knows? So he passes us and goes down probably about a half mile till we can't see him. I guess he stops. We're hunting there. We're probably there for about another 45, 50 minutes shooting. And we hear one shot, pow, off in the distance. We're like, oh, that's that guy back there. Whatever. So another 45 minutes goes by. We're getting ready to pack it up. Sun's going down. It's already shoot time. You know, we're counting our birds, taking our pictures. You know, we're getting ready to leave. This truck starts coming back, rolling back real slow, and he stops. And I had asked him, "Hey
He
man,"
had asked us. He had asked us first. He's like, "Hey, did you get any?"
oh
Yeah.
yeah, he goes,
You
yeah,
asked
we
him.
got a few doves, and then I go, yeah, what'd you get? What'd you shoot? He goes, nah, one hawk. I was like, I look at Jonathan. I was like, what? One hawk? Yes, exactly. One hawk. It was like, he goes, yeah. I was like, no, man, you're not supposed to fucking shoot. I couldn't. I was already laughing by then. You're not supposed to fucking shoot those.
We're trying to hold our composure.
Jonathan-
Fuck that. I'm busting out laughing, bro. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I was trying to hold it back. That was fucking rough.
And I'm trying. I'm telling
He
you,
straight face said.
straight face, bro. He's smiling. He's like, yeah, one hawk.
He was proud.
Oh, proud, bro. Proud as can be. So I go, no, man, you're not supposed to fucking shoot those. He goes, oh yeah, hawk is good. So that's been the joke since.
What was his nationality?
I think you could
South
tell.
American.
I think you could tell.
South American.
I think
You know.
could tell. Not American. How about that?
Not American. Yes, exactly. Someone from south of the border. And that's been the joke since, and I've never forgot about that.
And
You know,
he
that guy,
left with it.
more than likely he had it in his truck. And you know, I'm not gonna fucking go calling the game warden on him.
I mean, not that.
He's gonna get caught doing some stupid shit on his own.
That boy out here shooting shots,
Exactly.
shooting hogs. Yeah,
he'll wind up in the wrong spot and get caught up. But
Hey, more power to him if he wants to.
listen, if he's eating them, I guess whatever. To each their own.
I
but
guess
if
he's about that life.
If-
you
you
know?
know, gang shit, huh? So yeah, that was.
I don't know. I don't know what the regulations are south of the border on hawks.
Oh
but,
no, it's 5-gallon bucket. Is what they meant.
over on this
Anything.
side, yeah, that doesn't really work out that way.
Yeah, anything is, you get a limit of anything. In a 5-gallon bucket, that's your limit.
Yeah, manatee, 5-gallon bucket.
I know in
Osprey 5-gallon bucket.
I know in Nicaragua it's like 30 ducks you could shoot or 50 ducks, something crazy
Jesus
like that.
Christ. I
Yeah.
know I have someone that I've talked to.
I've heard Mexico's pretty generous limits. I don't think they use steel either. I think
Yeah.
you can use lead.
Lead. Yeah.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
Damn. Yep.
They out there poisoning ducks.
They don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
No.
Yeah, I'd be seeing. Did you see that picture I sent you the other day with that huge, ginormous pile? I gotta see if I pull this up.
That you shot?
No, hell no,
Hell
I didn't
no,
shoot
you
that.
can't
Hell no, big old pile. No, there's been some days
If he
this season I
sends,
haven't been
you a
able-
pile, it's gonna be a pile of shells. Maybe 4 birds.
Hey man, don't make me look bad on the podcast.
No, they can't see you. They're making you sound bad.
Let me see if I can pull this up.
Yeah, that fucking picture is crazy. There's about 300 birds on that dock.
Yeah, there's a lot of birds on that dock. Yeah, like I was saying, Mexico. Like John was
Mexico
saying,
is very
Mexico's
generous.
Yeah, I want to go there. Like you guys might not want to go there, but fucking hunting with the cartel sounds dope to me.
I got personal reasons
sounds
why I don't
neat.
want to go down there, but yeah.
All right, I'll find someone else. Anybody want to go to Mexico? You let me know.
Go down
about
to
it,
Nicaragua.
but hit your
I got
boy. I'm about it, but should we pack our bulletproof vests?
Why the fuck not, bro? Those ducks might shoot back.
Orale.
The cartel ducks. They got the fucking drone bombs on them, bro. They send them to Ukraine.
That'd be scary. Exhilarating.
Dude, that would be fun. Wouldn't it be fun if duck shot back at you?
I don't know about that. I don't know if it'd be fun. I don't know how much
even
fun
the,
that
even the
would be.
playing field. What are they shooting back with? 22s? Like
I don't know, bro. Whatever they got, bro, it probably hurts.
Yeah,
But
no,
if
I'm
they
good. Off, I'm
I
good
would
off that.
It'd be more like Pearl Harbor.
Legit, some kamikazes fucking coming in. What was that? A fucking model?
Yeah.
It's got an Uzi.
Models would totally be bombers, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, have you
So-
done any hunting this season?
I've done a little bit of well, now that we're in 2025, I've done pretty much just duck this year
Oh, yeah?
so far. End of 2024 was straight ducks, doves. Before that, for recap in 2024, I pulled some gator tags.
Hell
so I went
yeah.
on Lake-O, ended up snagging a good 9-footer. So
Nice.
that was a fun time.
Yeah, I saw that. You stuffed it in the Forerunner, huh?
I tried to,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't fit.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right.
we had to throw it in the back of the. I think my buddy's got a Nissan Frontier.
Hell yeah, if it fits, it ships, bro.
Yeah, the thing was a stud. So we were out there the first week that my tag was good to go. We had the green light. We had went out on like the 3rd day, so a couple people had to jump, but there was still plenty of gators roaming around, so it was perfect. And we hooked up on a couple that we thought were decent size. As soon as we got them next to the boat, we were just like, oh, this ain't the one, because I didn't want to settle for some bullshit
Right.
early on into the season. So we're like, all right, let's just call it a night. It's 11:45, September 19th. And I was like, what the hell is that over there by the docks? Because there's some docks over there by the park where we were, we dropped the boat in at the slip. And a lot of people go and they clean fish and shit over there. So the gators like to hang out. And I was like, pretty sure that's a gator over there, bro. So I grabbed a spotlight because we went out, it was nighttime.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yep, that's a gator. And we start easing a little bit closer. And sure enough, I was like, that thing's got to be at least 8 foot, 9 foot. And at this point, I'm like, came out here for double digits, but I'll settle for a 9.
Right.
And my buddy was like, drop me off at the docks. I'm going to sling the treble off the dock, freaking snag him there, and then we're going to jump in the boat and for the fight. And I was like, all right, that works. Perfect. First cast, Asian buddy, Min. Shout out to Min. Casts out this treble hook, freaking right on the dime, hooks right into it, and he freaking sprints from the dock, jumps back in the boat, and this thing's taking us for a ride. We're in a... If you saw the pictures, it's funny because, you think gator hunting, you're in a duck boat, mud boat,
Right.
freaking bay boat, something, a bass boat. We were in a ski boat.
Oh, dope.
So everybody's
Sweet.
looking at us crazy, like, what the hell is a ski boat doing out here on Lake Okeechobee? They ain't fucking bass fishing or nothing.
So they hear the fucking shooting coming from
Yeah. So we hook up onto this thing, and I'm like, all right, let me grab my rod. It's sitting right behind you, right there. A 1970s Daiwa BG, old school rod, reel on a custom rod that a buddy of mine built. And like we got into before, I'm pretty budget friendly when it comes to gear. There's some things I won't cheap out on, I'll go expensive on, but that I was like, if it works, if it could sling a treble where I need it to, I'm fucking taking it. So I was like, I'm gonna do it on this 1970s BG reel. And I put a second hook into him, and the rest was history. We got a bigger snag hook, got him in, tied him up to the boat finally, and I think once he was next to the boat, 5 minutes later, I grabbed the
bang stick.
The bang sticks. Thank you. Fucking having a brain fart here. Bang stick. Load in the 44 mag that we had on the dime, right on the money shot. Thing goes down. I'm like,
Was the boat big enough to pull him on the boat?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
The back of the boat's probably 10 foot wide.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you had one of them nice ski boats.
Yeah,
Hell
it was a decent sized ski boat. So we
that
taped.
boy Hunter Reynolds.
So we taped up its mount. No, it's actually this older guy. Damn, I can't even remember his name now at this point. It's gonna come back to me later. But it's one of Min's buddies he used to work with. He's actually a pilot, and on his downtime he hunts. And he was like, shit, if you guys want to get on the lake, I got a boat. Because I had just sold my John boat, and I wasn't about to go pull no fucking 10-footer into the John boat that I had.
No.
But yeah, so as soon as he let me know that, because I was just gonna bank him, hit him off the bank, because I got a couple spots on Lake O where I know where they're hanging at. But yeah, so we get him into the boat, throw him in, and get back to the docks. And I'm like, well, shit, boys, fucking midnight, we're rolling in, and we accomplished the mission. So that was a damn good night. I was lucky to pull some tags because the last couple of years I freaking struck out on that. You know how that goes.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, you might put the money into it, you get all ready for it, and you might not pull tags.
Nope.
So. Yeah, that's the way it is.
I've been thinking about starting applying for it. I haven't applied for it.
Just apply for it anyways, bro.
Yeah,
It raises our odds. Oh,
Yeah.
Grouper?
Well, I mean, I was talking about Gators.
Oh.
Yeah, I applied for Grouper this year. Didn't get pulled.
It's good to it's just good to throw it out there just to see, what the hell. If you do land it, great. But if not, you're not disappointed.
It gives you something to do,
Yeah.
If you want to do it. I haven't been crazy about gator hunting, but I might try it. I might try my luck at it.
Bro, it's fun.
Oh, I bet.
It's an adrenaline rush when you got a 9-foot gator on the end of that rod just pulling you around.
Oh yeah, no, all of us were kids at once. We all went to fucking different canals and hooked up to our gators while we were fishing, or got fucking our lures ate and despooled, and we all been there. We know.
Hooked them with a stick and threw stuff at them.
Florida bush shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you grew up in Florida, you fucked with a few gators.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays it's easy to tell a lot of people didn't jump in a sweet tea colored water when they were kids, but we a little different.
It's changed a lot here, yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, other than the doves, the ducks, the gator, honestly, I didn't deer hunt much this year.
Yeah, I didn't do too much deer hunting this year either, other than that incident with that buck that John, kind of didn't shoot because the thing was just looking up at us. It was fucking looking up at the tree 15 feet up.
Yeah, I think honestly I'd only deer hunted about 3-4 times this season because at the beginning of season I had one accident.
Yeah.
We're looking at it in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't get too deep into that. But after that, a month later, I got into a car accident. An 18-year-old, not paying attention, slams into the back of me going 50 miles per hour in my 4Runner. So
yeah, it sucks.
that set me back. I was in a little bit of pain after that, and I wasn't about to be out there walking miles and miles for deer.
Yeah, it's better to be straight.
It's unfortunate because during the off season, like in the springtime, summertime, like basically during turkey all the way through the summer, I was scouting, putting in the work. I mean, I was going hard. I had so much data on the trail cams after getting those set up out there. And
yeah, you sent me a lot of pictures this season and last season.
some
fucking
studs,
nice ones, yeah.
Some real studs this year. And I had a quota that I actually went hunting on to the area we talked about last time. And during the whole entire off season, and I actually had the first week of bow for that too, which was great. And
That's a good permit.
yeah, during the off season, leading up to the day before season opened, deer everywhere.
Yeah.
Get in there the day of. There's
Deer, nowhere.
There's plenty of boots on the ground. I mean, there was nobody near me, but driving in, it looked like they were waiting outside for Black Friday.
That place gets a lot of traffic in it. You know, there's a lot of traffic there in between hunts and stuff like that. Hunting is not the only thing that goes on there. So
Yeah.
you gotta find some spots that are ducked way back in there. You'll be real successful back there.
Yeah.
I would put your cameras just a few hundred yards back.
Yeah, the spots that I went to, I didn't have a single soul on any of them, so I know I did good, and there was plenty of deer in there. But I went out there one day on my quota because I couldn't go the other 2 days, so I was like, it's actually went out 2 days, but didn't go out the Sunday. I took off the Friday, went out the Friday. That first day, sitting there, I didn't take a climber or anything, so I was just on the ground, and I went into an area where I knew bucks had been rutting hard. They had been battling. I had videos of them just straight up fighting in the middle of the night. I had videos of them fighting in the day in there.
That's dope.
Plenty of daytime data to know that they walk through this area pretty much every day.
Right.
And it was coming up to quitting time, and I got up, and I was like, all right. And I text my boy. He was in another spot that we had scouted, and he had some good data on. He didn't see shit that day, but walking back to the Forerunner after I texted him to meet me there, and I was like, let me check out this spot that's like 50 yards away from where I was, because I had heard something there earlier in the day. I found this scrape of all scrapes, boy. Like I wish I could see what created that thing, because this thing was fresh from that morning. Like I touched the tree, and I was like, yo, this happened like today. It was still wet, still sap coming out of it. I was like, damn.
That's cool.
So I'm like checking out this scrape, and I was like, let me go walk back a little bit further to the cypress edge. And I have my bow in my hand. I got my release, but I don't have anything knocked. And I come around the side of some palmetto bushes, and there's a 6-point stud. I'm talking high tower, just perfect chocolate horn buck standing right there. And he looks at me, I look at him, and I kind of just freeze. Yeah. And I'm like, let me see how this goes. And I kind of moved my eyes down, and the second I did that, this buck just picks up and shoots, and he's gone. And I'm like, that's pretty much how this quota is going to go.
Oh yeah. It never fails to.
I got humbled pretty good on that one. It was unfortunate because I went one more time deer hunting after this quota, but that was the one where I actually saw like something that was worthy of putting on that wall right there next to that guy.
Oh yeah.
And it just didn't work out. So yeah, I mean, honestly, deer didn't really get to see too much of me in the woods this season, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. I've had plenty of fun with the doves and the ducks. No hogs. Haven't chased the hogs much at all. I haven't really. I've killed so many hogs in my life. It's kind of just like, whatever. If they're there and I'm walking out, fine, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a nice bycatch, but I'm not out there chasing them.
No.
Per se. Unless I see them and I'm physically chasing them, I'm not putting up cameras for hogs or not. I know people that do it. So I know people that's all they hunt is hogs.
Yeah,
so.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, shit. No. Yeah, I've prepped some wild game or some wild hog, and people have thought, like, oh, would you pick this up at Publix earlier today?
Oh,
you couldn't even tell that it wasn't store bought pork.
Yeah, I like eating pork. It's cool. I need to make a gotcha,
But yeah, it's been a while since I've been having that drive to go and chase them. That's actually, that bull right there is a prime reason of kind of why I stopped, because I got rushed by that fucker.
That one?
Over there.
God damn, that shit's big.
You see the teeth on him? Yeah. I got rushed by that guy. It was a couple years ago, but he's one of the reasons where I'm like, all right, like, I've seen these things kill dogs in front of me.
But can you top a pig like that? Really?
He was a stud.
Those shanks.
He was a stud.
Them bitches are sharp.
Yeah, and he came at me full sprint and kind of just blindsided me. But yeah.
Well, that didn't work out too well for him. He's sitting there on the wall.
Yeah, he ate good. He ate damn good. People talk about boars not tasting good and they're rank and this and that shit. I got the
I don't know how to
freaking
cook.
secrets to that.
They don't know how to cook.
That's what it is.
They don't
They
know.
really don't.
Eric is pretty good at ribs. I've had some really thin fucking hog ribs, really thin deer ribs, and I'm telling him, "Hey man, do something with this." He cooks it up, makes them pretty good.
I believe it.
I think at that point, if you got something thin, something with a little amount of meat on the bone, you're better off just slow cooking it, throwing it in a pressure cooker or something.
Yeah, crock
That,
pot.
Crock pot,
that was
yeah.
just keeping me from fucking deboning it. I didn't want to have to debone
Well,
it.
yeah, you could still do it. You
A
know,
whole
cook
rack
it.
of ribs isn't going to
slow
fit in a
cook it.
fucking crock pot. If you find a crock pot that will fit a rack of ribs in it, you let me know.
Someone's got it.
So, you think so?
Yeah.
God damn, it's going to take it to... It's going to have to hook up to like a
Put it
240.
in a pressure cooker. I don't know.
That's
Which
not-
is
that's not
colder.
no
Put it in a
work.
pressure cooker.
A whole rack of ribs in a pressure cooker?
Yeah. Split them up. It's going
I
to debone
guess.
itself out anyways.
We going to start arguing right here on the podcast?
Yeah, right now.
So let's go on. Was there anything, John? Did you hunt much in 2024, bro? Is there anything that you wanted to talk
I
about?
hunted as much as I could. 2024, I got to...
We didn't get out once together. We were supposed to.
I actually did get
towards
to
the
a
end.
personal goal. I started tracking how many birds I shot, and it was tough. I know I'd shot more birds in the previous years, but I got to 50 birds
Nice.
on the last day, at the last fucking minute.
Yeah, that was dope. 50 birds right at the last bird
Yeah.
of the last day of the season.
You couldn't
for
ask
him.
for a better end.
Yeah, really pretty bluebills. We shot some ringers, shot a few teals, and I ended the season pretty good. This season, I'm not hunting as much as I did because I had a whole work schedule change and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm getting used to that. And I'm going to be getting used to that here in the future. But I have more consecutive days hunting now with my new schedule rather than my regular 9 to 5.
Right.
5 days on, 2 days off. But I do miss big portions of the season. So I could be missing, in terms of ducks, I could be missing a whole migration, or a whole big old movement,
Right.
during the season. And it's just the name of the game,
I
You
just
gotta work around it.
when it comes to this season, I feel like it's been very slow.
Oh yeah.
I got a feeling that as soon as February comes around, those ducks are going to be thick down here, which is when our season ends, the 26th we said earlier.
Yeah.
Which is
I was
unfortunate.
talking to Haley about this earlier. I said I was think the migration and a lot of people think this. I think it's changing.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that they should move duck season back. But shit, if we can get 2 weeks, I'd totally shave 2 weeks off I'd sacrifice that Thanksgiving weekend and even that first week of December to get 2 weeks in February.
Yeah, I
Any
agree.
day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Them birds, I mean, the youth hunts tear it up every year.
Yeah.
That's right
They're the
before
last
season,
ones.
and they're the last ones. And, you'd think at the very, very end of the season, but duck season gets better as it gets, as it marinates, so.
Yeah, I
Because
noticed.
it gets cold. And it hasn't gotten cold is another thing.
This
getting
year it's
cold
nice.
late.
This year
Yeah.
it's real nice for it.
This is
But still, we haven't
big
had
change.
the push. We still haven't had the push down here that we need.
We haven't had the rain, which is
Yeah.
really nice
started-
for ducky weather.
During early season. It was great rain and it just shut off.
Right away.
Yeah.
It was like we had, 2 weekends of rain and no more rain.
They ain't got nowhere to land. They're just gonna keep going.
Yeah, I have a few spots that dried up this season where I was like, damn, I went out there a few times. Like we said earlier, we like to scout, with a gun in our hand. We like to scout real time during season so we know where the birds are
Right.
while the season is going on.
It's the best way to do it.
To me, it's so to each their own. But like I said, I like it the best because it's real time. It's like real data to me. At least it feels it. So
Obviously, like we said, the year to year is changing a little bit more, but at least you have that in the back of your mind. Like, oh, remember that one spot that we saw while we were.
yeah, oh yeah, you put those spots in your pocket because everything it changes just like everything in the city and in town. It changes out there too. The vegetation, the water, all that changes.
Right.
So when I went out to a spot that I took you to that you were talking about the mergansers and.
Yeah, I remember saying we should go hit that up, and you're saying that was dry too.
It's dry and overgrown.
Yeah, that's
There's
crazy because
reeds.
if you go on my page, you could see how deep that water was around
Yeah.
this time last year. Because this is about
Roughly knee high.
yeah.
And it was, I'll tell you what, it was real. It it's overgrown a whole lot, it doesn't look good. And there's no water. It's all ankle high, and where the water is receded way back.
Yeah.
It's gone way back. For me, the season, relatively slow, but I've had way more quality birds this season. I've had a lot of seasons, just a lot of ducks this season just want to be in my decoys, and
Did you change anything?
no mojos. I started running more mojos. We
See-
figured out something. We started putting the mojo instead of up real high. I have one mojo that I like to put up real high, especially if the reeds are tall. But putting the mojo real low over the water, that shit's cake, man. That shit works.
I think
good.
that's why the flickers work so well.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Flickers
it
works-
reflects.
I remember we used to run four flickers. I used to cut out the tops of some old decoys. I used to foam fill them up with great stuff, which although it doesn't work very well, it does work, and it worked for me for at least a season or a season and a half. So you get an old decoy, and back then they didn't have, there was a time that they discontinued the waterfowl flickers. The
Yeah,
ones
'cause
that
they got
were
Gen
able to
2s now.
float. Yeah, they have Gen 2s
Yeah.
now, but they discontinued the Gen 1s for a good while. And when I started duck hunting, they came on the market, and I was about to buy them, and then they had came off the market, and I had bought the dove flickers because they had them. The dove flickers were cheap, and I really didn't care for them too much.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
about
it was like 30
20,
bucks
30
for
bucks
four.
less
Yeah, something like
than
that.
the duck ones.
And I just cut the tops out of some old ones, some old decoys. I filled them up with foam, and I would set, I'd cut them out big enough to be able to put those dove flickers in them, and I would just run out with the flickers in my box. And I had gotten to the point where I was using them so much that I had burned one up with the water, so I had taken them apart, siliconed them together, and I sealed them, and those lasted me. I don't know how long those lasted me.
Oh, I think there's still a few of them floating around that we use to dove hunt every once in a while.
But yeah, I did that. That was a good improvisation. If shit worked, put some life in the decoys. But I think motion is your best friend in the decoys.
Water motion, not necessarily decoy motion, water motion.
Right. A lot of people complain. I've gone out with a handful of people now that have said, "Oh, don't run those mojos late in the season." Because like some people will say, "Oh, the poles that you put them in, like if you paint them a certain color, it's gonna scare away the birds." Like
Yeah,
a lot
those
of people
things-
are hesitant of
I
the
don't think-
mojos.
We had a lot of ducks yesterday. I think the reason they came in was because of the mojos. And what's today, January 7th?
Yeah, this is late in our season.
Yeah. So we're already getting into our late season. We're into our late season.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much now.
Today's the 9th.
Yeah, so today's the 9th. Yesterday we were running 2 mojos, and they really like those mojos. They came, and that's the ones that seen it from far, and they definitely came around to investigate. So I do think they don't like mojos. I think there's ducks that are educated. I think it's like all down to an individual basis.
Yeah.
I think some ducks are gonna like what they see and go in. You might have less of a possibility, but I don't know. I'm not no fucking pro.
Yeah, everybody's when it comes to duck hunting, everybody's gonna have their theories. Like I went out with one person, they're like, "Oh, let's run a U formation." Another person was like, "Oh, let's run an airstrip formation." Like
Jonathan tells me that I think about it too much, and I just want to have. I know in my
I don't
head
know.
that I just want certain groups and certain spots.
I don't know. I just look at things very logically. Like people might look at people might look at it as superstitions, but I don't let people wear sunglasses in the blind with me.
I don't either. I don't like that either.
And I
So
feel
I got-
like it's if you're looking at it from a distance, like if you're looking at a bug, he has 2 big old bulgy eyes. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's especially with reflective, and I feel like that's the same thing you're representing in the marsh, and you're just making it easier for them to spot you.
So I could go and back you up on that. I went out. I want to say it was pretty sure. No, it was about 3 weeks ago. I went out on a Sunday, and before first light, these birds were coming in and they were doing it dirty. We could see them just working the decoys. Light came up. We shot a couple ringers, a couple teal, and then the sun really got high, and I ran out of contacts, and I was wearing my glasses. Those ducks would come in. If I would even twitch my head, they would just flare off, and they would go into a different
Was the sun
direction.
in your face?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
And now that you say that, I'm like, damn, I think because we were wondering like the rest of the day, like these ducks are coming in and they're just getting out fast. Like they're nothing is working for them right now. And
Oops.
they just didn't want to commit. I'm pretty sure it was because I was wearing glasses that day.
Yeah, I think glasses are a big. I think even if you have glasses and you're not facing the sun, if there's water reflection going into your glasses, they'll be able to see that.
Yeah.
They have more cones in their eyes. They see so many more colors. If you have polarized glasses, Lord knows what they can see. You don't know what they can see. So I don't like to have glasses. God forbid, Jonathan accidentally wore his out and fucking dropped them in the marsh the other day.
Yeah, I noticed I had them on, and usually I notice I have them on right when we're fucking setting up, and I'm like, oh shit. So I put them in. I just got these new pair of waders, and I put them here. Not in the pocket, but like in between.
Yeah.
Hanging
on the inside of your waders. And that first group of teal come in right at shoot time. We shot a few birds out of that group, and I didn't even notice that they were gone until well after. And I had thought about it like an idiot. And I was like, I'm probably gonna lose them there. And if I was lucky, the only thing I had going for me is that they were gonna fall into my waders, but that obviously didn't happen. So lost a fucking pair of Costas into the marsh.
I lost.
But I was saying it the other day. I was like, it's totally worth it. I'd lose another 200 pair of.
Yeah, I
$200
lost a 200 pair
Costas.
last season too.
The marsh gives and the marsh takes back.
Yeah.
It's just
Speaking of, give them the fucking treasure story.
So we had a really good day yesterday. Actually, we went out with the goal to we have my brother's coworker was in town and we wanted to scratch some ducks off his list. All he shoots is greenheads. So
It's from Wyoming.
Oh, okay, yeah, so totally different flyway.
Right, way different. Yeah. So we're on the goal to go scratch his model duck off, and we pull up into a spot, and on the way there, he's the only one with the light on. Me and him are in the canoe. Eric is in the kayak, and Jonathan is in the paddleboard, and they're a little bit farther behind us. And this guy apparently is blind, and I don't have a light on because I don't want to blind myself.
I was talking shit earlier in the day prior. I was talking shit. He's colorblind and his eyesight isn't the best.
So this guy's blind, colorblind.
So yeah, we're rowing down. He's the only one with the light on. So he's at the front of the canoe. He's just earning his sea legs merit badge, I guess. He's been on a canoe one other time, and that was like the day before, which was actually that was the second time. So
He wasn't blowing chunks or anything like that.
no, he was actually doing a pretty good job on the canoe.
I don't think you shouldn't get motion sick. If you get motion sickness
On a
out there,
canoe?
then you should just stop hunting.
Yeah,
or
no, don't.
doing outdoor. You should just wrap
Go
yourself in a
inside.
bubble wrap.
Go inside, go find something to do in the library. But anyways, we're rowing down the trail, and this guy's looking down with his, he has nothing else to look at because when you have a spotlight on your head, you can't really see that far in the marsh. Especially if it's open
Seeing
water.
a lot of shadows, seeing all kinds of
stuff. You see
stuff.
better in the dark when it's open water. So we end up, he's looking down, and he goes, damn, I think I just seen money. And I was like, man, you're not seeing money. Just keep going. And he looks down again. He's like, no, dude, I'm seeing money. I was like, no, are you sure you're seeing money? He goes,
The colorblind dude saying
yes,
this?
bro. And he's looking in the water. We passed by another one. He goes, dude, that was definitely money, bro. So we stop, and we're determined now. He's like, we're gonna pick some of this shit up.
He's shining his light, and sure as shit, it's fucking
It's cash.
money. It's cash. You can't really quite tell what it is, but it's cash.
How
you
big
know?
were the bills?
It was, but there, it's sitting in a canal that's about, I want to say 4 foot deep, but it's very silted on the bottom. So if you
Like
were
3 foot of muck or 4
it's
foot of muck under it.
Exactly, it's like 3 or 4 foot of muck. So once you
You're
go, if
sinking
you,
right in that.
it's not like you're walking into it or you're trying to fucking. I mean, given the amount, you'll find out the amount here in a second. I would have went fucking swimming, but had I known,
So-
we weren't fucking. We were just fucking around, and he picks up a fucking
$100 bill.
$100 bill out of the
Fucking
swamp.
dude passes it to me, and I fucking, we're working it between the both of us with the oar. And I pick it up. He picks up $1. This is the first bill we pick up, and it comes out. I'm like, bro, this is a fucking $100 bill, dude.
It's
Like,
still
this is a
and
Benjamin.
mind you, it's
Out in the
4
marsh,
a.m.
just
out in the
random
marsh at 4 a.m.
fucking cartel just
On the bottom
just-
of the
The
marsh.
first thing,
It just didn't
I say,
drop.
I'm paddling up at this point, and the first thing, you know, I'm hearing the whole commotion. They're finding money and shit, and he pulled up $100 bill, and you know, Eric is just behind him. I'm getting up to Eric, and he's shining one of the bills, you know, and I'm like, where's the fucking pack? You know, my Floridian,
all the 3 Floridians, like, there's a pack around here somewhere.
I'm sitting here shining the mag light around, looking around. I'm like, somebody's got to have dropped the load around here or something.
For real.
And, no, church said it was probably some laborer dropped his money or something, or someone paddling the canoe trail, you know, took a swim and lost their money out of their
More
shirt
than likely,
pocket
it was the first option.
Yeah, I would think so.
But
Especially if it was floating on the top like that.
right, someone had a bad day.
It was just right
had
on
a
the top.
A real bad
It
day.
was just on the top of the silt. But the issue was that we were there in the dark. You know, they had picked up the first bill and they silted everything up. You know, and that place is really not. It's kind of, you know, not busy at all. You know, you get it's really touristy.
It's,
you know,
it's heavily trafficked by tourists.
Tourist, okay.
You know what I'm saying
So we're paddling through, and you know, they silted it all up, and we said, "Fuck it," you know, we're gonna go hunt before we're late. You know, we go and we leave, and we set up, and we hunt.
had a good day. You
Yeah,
know,
we had a
everyone got
pretty
their
good day.
mark. I
Everybody
shot
got
my
their
first
mark.
hybrid.
Oh, so the guy did end up connecting on him.
Oh
Yeah,
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 we
he
got.
got-
Okay.
he
So
got
got to
a
knock that
model,
one
yeah,
off
he-
his list.
At the end of the street. At the
He
end
got
of the
he
strip
got
of the-
four birds the last 2 days. He got
Nice.
4 new birds because, like I said, he was only shooting mileage up there, and he got.
He's only down here for
2 days.
2 days. Oh,
Well,
He
he
left
was.
today.
Well, yeah, he
Nice.
was over here on this side of the, you know, because his parents have some live in Ruskin, and he came over. You know, me and him worked together in North Dakota, so he came down with me because I guess he decided he wanted to come down to see his parents, and he was going to come over and hunt with me for a few days. So he ended up shooting a coot, blue wing, ringer, and a mott. So he knocked 4 pretty good.
nice.
Hell yeah, for one trip.
And found, how much did that guy find? You said $1 earlier.
Well, he found $1 and he found the $100 bill that I helped him pick up, and then we
He
came
shot
back.
4 birds and got a $100 bill. That's
Yeah,
a
shit.
good day.
Oh no, get this. So we go back. We're like, we're gonna go fucking back. We know we seen more. You know, he knows he's seen more. So we go back, and me and him skip forward a little bit past where me and him found the.
This is
$100
after the
bill.
hunt.
After the hunt, yeah, we're on our way back. So we go down the trail a little bit where we see the other bills. We thought we seen something, and we're seeing stuff. We go back, and Eric and Jonathan are on the spot that me and him.
We're
found
looking,
them.
but we're looking around for an hour. We can't even fucking see anything.
Right.
Everything got silted up, you know, and that silt.
There's probably more out there.
That silt is so fine. I didn't think so because I think
we found all
I'm
of
pretty
it.
confident we found all of it.
We
I
might
remember
be
seeing-
missing one bill, and it might be a 5, it might be 100, but you never know. You know, but
You
we're
guys found a little bit of everything, or
dog. We found $800.
Yeah.
All of us went
Yeah.
out hunting, and we got paid $200.
Well, Eric, so we went back out. We couldn't find anything for about an hour, and Eric's dead set, you know, looking and shit like that. That motherfucker's got a good set of eyes. And he's pointing at something right there in the water, and it almost looks like a little shell. And what it is about an inch of the corner of the bill, of the side of the bill. And I'm sure as shit, I stick my paddle in there, and the skinny end of my oar, and I get under it, and I pick it up.
You only got one shot because the silt's coming up with it.
yeah,
I pick it up, and you know, sure as shit, I get it up out of the water, and I grab it as soon as I get it up out of the water, and as soon as I feel like it's multiple bills, and I'm like, holy shit! And
Well, he goes, holy shit.
I start separating bills, and I'm like, oh my god,
Eric
you know,
Eric
counting.
goes, what the fuck? And he goes, oh my god. And I told his buddy, I was like, yo, no, turn around. We're going back that way.
I'm
There's more.
splitting up 100 after 100 after 100. I ended up counting 700s that are stuck to each other.
We found 100 that morning, $101. You know, that $1 is somewhere around here. I don't know where it's at. But
and that's,
I got some of this cash here in my wallet from it. She just went and bought dinner with it.
Yeah.
So we came up. That's the
Bitch.
first time I ever been paid to duck hunt. I ain't even had a client. I was my own client.
for real.
Yeah.
That's
So, yeah,
crazy.
The swamp giveth, The swamp taketh back. How much shit have you lost? That's probably as much shit, little shit that I've lost. That was the swamp paying it
I
back.
would have
Yeah.
never, you know, every time I find the same guy, he's very lucky. He's a very, very lucky dude. He's came across a lot of money before. You know, he's found, so he's a wildland
Tell him
firefighter.
if he ever wants to hunt together. Like, you
Right.
slide him my number, bro.
Find the big paquete.
Listen,
you
by
know?
the end of the weekend, I was sitting there rubbing elbows with him, trying to get some luck out of him or
Yeah.
something. But
Apparently he comes across a lot of money.
he's a wildlands firefighter, and he's dealt with a lot of the fires in New Mexico and down in the Southwest and stuff like that. And he's came across $60,000 in cartel money.
Yeah, he came across that money, and then the border patrol pulled up just after he found it. They're like, "Hey, get your hands off that." He's like, "Oh fuck."
They were watching his
Yeah,
ass.
they knew it was there. They
Yeah.
knew it was there. So he, but he said
Yeah.
he's found another chunk of change with another group of buddies, and that was an interesting story. Maybe we'll get him down here for that, or we'll record it. No,
Fuck, me and him were filling up. We were on the way to Pad one day, and we stopped at the gas station and fill up. And we're towing a 10,000-pound trailer full of oil, with on a heavy light duty truck. And he sees $20 on the ground. We're pulling out of the gas station. It's wet and it's icy and snowy, and this motherfucker he thinks he puts the truck in park, but he puts the truck in
Fucking 10,000 pounds behind you.
he puts the truck in reverse, and he jumps out of the truck to go grab $20 he sees on the ground while we're driving by it. And I'm dying laughing, the entire time, because he gets up and he's like, "I found $20," and the truck's about to run him over. I'm like, "Oh shit! I'm just gonna get in the truck."
about killed himself for $20.
Yeah, but he's a pretty lucky dude,
No, that's awesome though. That
We
you
had
got to
two
come
pretty
down
good
here
hunts with
and
him.
to have back to backs like that.
And we hunted 50 yards from the levee the other day.
Yeah.
And then the day after, it was a bit of a paddle, but everyone got their limit on motts. I
Worth
shot
it.
my hybrid. I shot a ringer. Not too high speed on that second day, but
It's
we knocked
definitely
another
been
species
slow.
off.
It's definitely been slow, and I feel like it has been slow every year, for the last few years. It's
Yeah.
getting a little slower and a little slower and a little slower. Like last year, I know I shot 50 birds. I was documenting it in my little Ducks Unlimited app. I shot 50 birds, and it was tough to get to 50 birds. And I know prior years that I've had that, I've killed it and I've shot, well over 50 birds. But I don't know, man. Things change.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets better soon.
I
Hopefully
hope
something
so.
changed, with
Well,
water, something.
They're
Something
talking about
changes.
this Arctic freeze and all this weird weather systems coming our way.
Well,
So
yeah, it's
It's been
supposed to be
cold.
like
But we-
30 in the 39 down here coming into next Monday or something, or
Some
next
shit like that.
next week sometime. I think it's supposed to get real cold, which
we
is
need
good.
That rain. We need that rain ahead of it. Is what we need.
Yeah.
That's what makes the duck hunting real good, in my opinion. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
We get that really shitty weather. I spent a few days out with my buddy Tony, and we had 2 days. The first day was real shitty, and they were flying real good. And the second day was semi shitty, and they were flying pretty good. I had wood ducks fly in front of me at 11 o'clock in the morning. I was like, that's late.
Yeah, it's real late.
Them boys are fucking staying up all night.
Probably hungover or something.
Something like that. They're going.
Partying
They're
all
going to the
night.
diner and get some hangover burgers and shit like that.
Did you and Tony get any wood ducks?
No, we didn't get any wood ducks. We've been seeing them. I've been seeing them mixed in with ringers, which kind of tells me that I think that all the areas that they're used to having water where they roost probably don't have water. They
Yeah.
might be roosting there, but they're going.
They're not
far.
dropping down right from the roost.
They're not
where they
dropping down.
usually
They're
would.
flying elsewhere to go find water to be able to, get their feet wet. And shit
Yeah.
like that. That's just my theory.
Yeah.
I noticed the water is pretty low this year. A lot of places it's missing a lot of water.
Yeah, it's definitely been slow.
Some places still has water, but I've noticed where I've been and when, in areas that I do walk in and shit like that, it's been low.
I don't know. I can't wait to go to the fucking duck factory here on
Oh
Saturday.
yeah, we're gonna go to the duck factory on Saturday. Hopefully we'll come out. I don't care if we come out early. I'd rather relish it and see birds work.
That area's been fire this year.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
had
went
all
there.
the birds in the state.
I went
Yeah,
there
pretty much.
I went there last month with Crystal and the new guy, my buddy Tony, and I gave him my gun. was his first hunt. He got a limit. I don't know anybody that's been on their first hunt and got a limit.
Yeah, I've never done
Actually,
that.
I know one other person. He was a kid.
That's solely because of the spot. Because that's not. It's like
Yeah.
that's black out.
That's
the sky.
Disney World, bro.
Yeah, it's black
It's
out the
not.
sky.
Yeah, it's
with
not
ducks.
fair. It's honestly not fair because if you come from somewhere where you have to work for your ducks,
And you go and you pull
Everywhere
that.
else in the state,
everywhere else, like people travel far and wide to go to the STAs. You just knock off their fulvus, to shoot somewhere where birds are actually flying. Because in Florida, from what I've seen, is that you have to, if you want to find big groups of birds, you're gonna have to work for it.
Work hard.
real hard. It's not like you're gonna see them from the road. You gotta. I've kicked myself in the ass. I sold a John boat last year, and I had a trolling motor in. I don't really care that I sold the John boat, but I fucking forgot to take the trolling motor off of it, and it got sold with the trolling motor. And I really kicked myself in the ass. I was going to use that this year. And
Definitely helps.
yeah, I kick myself in the ass all the time. I still think about it.
Especially the area we were talking about possibly going this weekend.
Yeah, especially. That I don't want to talk about it, man. I miss that trolling motor because I'm missing it because I should have been using it this season.
Yeah.
Even if I had to make 2 trips or 2 batteries or whatever, I would have definitely utilized the shit out of it. So I'm kind of regretting it.
Yeah, hopefully at some point, though, they do talk about cutting some weeks off somewhere and giving us some days in February.
I don't know, man.
I would be.
They've regulated it so it's hard to change anything now. I mean, the thing's gonna only change to conserve it more, restrict things more, not to.
Yeah, if
Make
we
it
go
more
tweaking
lax.
shit,
Right.
we're gonna have more regulations. That's how most people see it. Don't mess with it, and it'll stay the same, and we will get more regulations.
But
Yeah,
in
like-
terms of the date, I hope they do change that. I hope they do push the season back.
it was last year. It ended on the 28th. Or
I mean, it all depends on
yeah, it
the
ended on-
days of the calendar, how it lands, but usually it's the last weekend in January. is
I
when it-
wouldn't even
when
be
it ends.
opposed to having an extra week, not necessarily pushing off the season or really changing it, but just put an extra week in the split. I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
You might have to.
Yeah,
wait
I'd
a little bit.
gladly take an extra week in the split to
yeah.
get an extra week at the back end.
Right.
And then imagine the birds that would be coming out of the youth hunt then. Mid to end February. That'd be lit.
Yeah, it'd be some real pretty birds.
Hell yeah, all mountable birds. You wouldn't have an ugly duck.
Nope. That's when their feathers are. Late season is when it's money
Yeah. What's your number 1 local duck right now?
to chase after.
Yeah.
Widgeon.
Widgeon? You haven't shot one yet?
Definitely after
They're
a
down.
widgeon.
They're
They're
down.
here. They're here right now. They're tough, but they're here.
I saw a pair. The first on opening weekend of regular season, and that's the last 2 that I've seen this
I
season.
think I've only seen 1 or 2 groups this season, but I've heard of quite a few of them getting killed. The spot I went to that I told you that I got invited to, they were there a few weeks prior, but they weren't there when I went there, of course.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just how it
they all
works.
died.
somehow.
Yeah, they just fell out of the sky. What's yours?
Local duck?
Yeah. If you could, you could chase after here. We shot the hybrid, so you got to fucking think about it now.
Here it'd be probably chase after sea duck. I've already shot a redhead.
Any sea duck? Doesn't really matter.
I want to shoot a bufflehead. I do wanna
Shoot Drake redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
redheads are. I look at them a lot like ringers. They fly a lot like ringers.
Yeah.
They work a lot like ringers. So I like a ringer shoot. They're
Yeah.
fun, but you're restricted on the amount that you can shoot redheads.
Yeah.
So
I
but
definitely.
I do want to shoot a bufflehead. It's a pretty duck. Really
I'd,
pretty duck.
I would mount a buffalo head for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my number 1 duck still is that shoveler. I keep missing the shoveler, and it's like every time I miss it, it's in my face. I usually don't shoot at them.
I've seen a lot this season.
They usually blow by
surprisingly.
me. Last year I seen a lot of them, but this year I haven't seen as many. But this year they've been in my nose, and I just haven't been ready for them. Either I don't have my gun in my hand, or I'm throwing decoys. Like last week we were throwing decoys. Last Sunday, me and him are throwing decoys, and it's still before shoot time, and we had 2 shovelers just scream through the decoys, right over our heads, and I was like, "Motherfucker, that was my shoveler! You came 5 minutes early, bud." So
I don't care what anyone says. That's a pretty duck to me.
yeah, I think they're cool looking ducks. I know that if I shoot one, especially now that we're getting closer to the end of the season, more than likely if I shoot one, that's probably the bird that I'm gonna mount.
Yeah, I've only shot a handful of them down here. 2 of them only being drakes, and they were almost fully plumed, but you could tell that they weren't quite there yet.
Yeah, I've
you
only
could have found better.
Yeah. I mean, we still had. I think it was probably getting down to the last few weeks, but they were good looking birds. And I never thought of it. Had I thought of it, I probably would have mounted them, but they weren't. They weren't, pristine.
Yeah.
Fully plumed birds.
yeah. When I was 19, I shot a shoveler, and that was the last time I ever killed one.
Yeah, it'll come again.
Like I said, I've seen them a lot
They're
this
really.
season.
I
but
feel like they really mixed in with the teals. They hang out with the teals a
They
lot.
do.
And they mix on. They're
They're-
really,
it's
really
a teal
sporadic.
with fat lips.
Yeah. I remember for my first time shooting one, I shot a hen and it looked just like a mottled duck, and I was so excited because that was my first mottled duck. I walk up to it, I was so disappointed.
Motts they're a dime a dozen down
It's my
here.
favorite duck. I love them.
Yeah, I like.
The good
I like
thing
them a lot. They work good.
Motts,
Yeah.
they do it nasty.
Oh yeah,
They do it nasty, bro.
They're
Feet
always
down,
they're
always
quality,
majestic.
They're quality ducks, man. They don't the weary ones. You can tell they're weary from far, But the ones that do it real nice, man.
Yeah.
They do it real sexy.
I'll sit right here on my back patio and I'll just sit out there and call, and that's usually the first bird.
It's
that
crazy
comes
how
in.
different those two the same animal can be. Those animals that you see in your backyard can come walking right up to you.
Oh,
walking
the Motts will not.
right up
Those
to
geese, though, those Egyptian geese, they'll
Oh.
walk right up to you. But the Motts,
You haven't
You
grabbed
get
one
close,
and put
they're
it in a
gone.
pot yet? Just grab it by the neck and just stick it inside.
I've never
gone-
ate it before.
Oh, I'm
Egyptian
gonna
geese.
definitely. I might chase after them this season before the season ends, and I might do it. Try to do it ultra legal. I don't know how legal it is shooting with a blow dart gun, but I might take my chances.
Technically, this lake has a boat slip, so
Yeah, but I
Just
just don't
saying.
know if shooting that waterfowl specifically is okay to shoot it with a blow dart gun. Because I know you can't shoot the ducks that we
Yeah.
regulate with a blow dart
Right.
gun. I don't know if you can take Egyptian geese with a blow dart gun.
they're invasive.
They are, but
They still fall under migratory bird federal regulations.
which is why we can't
Or
fucking kill
waterfowl.
those
Muscovies.
not the Muscovies, but the purple swamp hens.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, they're federally regulated. People don't know that. Although they're invasive, they're waterfowl. Waterfowl is waterfowl.
The
Yeah.
more you know.
Yeah, you're not supposed to shoot them. A lot of people are shooting the Egyptian geese out of season, and under my impression, the way I interpret it, you're not supposed to shoot them out of season.
There's one guy that I see posting them out of season all the time. but,
Oh yeah, we ain't gonna talk about
yeah.
that. I don't,
You know who I'm
It's
talking
not
about.
just
I don't
one
wanna
person.
talk about
Everybody's-
that guy, man.
Everybody's doing it, but I don't think
It's like
I
with the
don't think-
iguanas.
Yeah,
I don't think it's extremely enforced because they're invasive.
Yeah.
I don't think people. I think it's kind of.
FWC would be spending all of their time on it.
I think it's kind
know.
of turned a blind eye to because it's doing better getting rid of them than it is worse.
There's a golf course that I do the lakes to, and there's a lot of Egyptian geese there. They tend to roost on the Australian pines that are there in the golf course, and they're real noisy. Especially in a
Oh,
golf
yeah.
course. In a golf course,
They're
at
honking all
7,
day.
Exactly, 7 or 8 a.m. when people are trying to golf. Especially the people that are out golfing at 7 or 8 a.m. Which I don't like golf, but
Yeah,
these people
I don't like
are
golf.
out there at 8 a.m. They're probably trying to focus on their game.
while
you
we're
know?
talking about that, we don't need any more damn golf courses in Florida. Just
No,
saying.
man, y'all can find somewhere else, but go to Texas. But they're real noisy. They're real noisy birds, and one thing that I've noticed is that when they get on the short part of it, on a putting green or something like that, and there's a big group of them, they shit all over the putting green, and there is more shit on the putting green than there is green. Like a flock of 20 of them will leave a
White
putting
out
green
that
all
whole-
white and brown all over it. It'll look like a foreign flag, green, white, and brown. So
I got a spot you can hunt them with a shovel.
I'm pretty sure everyone has a spot here you can hunt with a shovel. I'm trying to hunt one cool, like maybe sneak up with a blow dart gun. I don't want to shoot them with a pellet gun. It's kind of gay.
Yeah,
But unless it's like one of those charged up ones, them juiced ones with the pre-charged pneumatic ones.
oh yeah. They
think-
got some crazy freaking air guns.
Oh
now.
yeah, I'll shoot the shit out of one of those.
22,
but I don't wanna
25,
shoot a
30
red-
cal.
I don't want to shoot an Egyptian goose with a red rider. If I know anything, it's that waterfowl tend to survive because they have some sort of fucking bulletproof vest on. You know what I'm saying? And more than likely, if I shoot it with a red rider, it's just gonna laugh at me.
Yeah,
So
be like Superman, just
Yeah,
Pop
exactly.
that thing out.
It'll probably get pissed off and chase me and fucking knock me off my boat.
Yeah, those Egyptian geese are mean as hell, man.
I was doing a fountain job once, and we had them. I turn around, and there's fucking 3 of them, 2 of them on my boat.
They'll peck at you. They'll freaking go after you all.
Oh yeah, they don't care that the boat is there. If the person's not on the boat, they'll get on the boat for sure. They don't care. But I might get one this season. I might mount it too. I'm definitely gonna get.
Why not?
I'm definitely gonna get 2 because I'm gonna eat one of them.
Well, more than likely, you see one, you're going to see at least 2 to 3 or 4 in one area. I've never seen an Egyptian geese alone.
I don't think so either. I don't think I have either.
I think they're pretty birds.
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion.
they're studs. They
I'd
look
mount
good.
one.
They look good, and they got nice pechugas, nice breasts on them. Hell yeah, make a nice dinner.
You got to let me know how it tastes whenever you eat it.
Hell yeah, I'm waiting for you to invite me. We'll fucking share the
Big
blow dart gun.
happy.
I'll bring the kayak. We'll come back. You know.
Shit, I got tubes sitting back there right now. You don't even need to bring a kayak.
Oh shit! I'll just bring the blow dart gun. Swing by Bass Pro on the way here. Get some ammo. And if all else fails, man, we'll just fucking like John said, hit him with a shovel. Bing.
Aside from ducks, now that we named our go afters for this season or for 2025 for this year.
Definitely. I'm not gonna get after him this season, but
Yeah, I'm talking.
possibly.
Yeah.
Like,
This season's pretty much over, so I'm talking about for when season rings
My
around
all-time
again.
is that long tail still. I still want that long tail.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
a
get
dope
that.
bird.
I'm gonna get that long tail.
Any other species or anything else you guys are trying to hunt in 2025 hard or any goals?
I'm hoping I have a few points racked up for my sandbar deer.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Oh yeah, I want to
Yeah.
do that. You know, I have 1 or 2
I
points.
think I
racked
got
up for
5 points for that.
that.
I think
Shit,
I'm right
dude.
around the same. If I'm maybe 4.
Yeah.
I think I got my 4th one this year.
I think
so
people
maybe
usually
next year I
start
get
pulling
5.
it around 7 or 8. Is when people usually start pulling it.
That'd be a sick hunt though.
From
Straight.
what I've heard, I don't know shit.
Yeah. For those people that don't know, that hunt is all primitive. You basically got to travel to an island.
You need a boat.
Yeah, you need a boat,
need a
to
boat.
travel.
Or a ride, you know.
There's a
boat.
taxi, yeah, that
There
takes
are
you over
guides.
there.
There are guides that do it, and there's people that taxi back ice. Like if you shoot one, they'll come back with ice.
Yeah, but you're talking about hardcore hunting for 3 days straight out there, just
Oh,
primitive camping. Just
Do they have a general gun season for that?
No, it's muzzleloader.
It's
and
only
archery
muzzleloader.
only.
Yeah, I figured it was only muzzle and archery.
I only apply for the archery.
Yeah,
That's how I want to get it done.
them are big deer, man. I was driving down a highway along a high fence operation a few weeks ago with my buddy Eric, and I seen I think it's called a Pierre David, and I underestimated the size of those deer. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Those deer are that's like, from the road to me, it looked like it was just 2 of me tall, like 12 feet tall, which that's not the case. It's not 12 feet tall, but if I had to guess, it's right around horse sized.
Yeah.
It's definitely pony sized. You know, it's got some big horns, not including the horns. And it's smaller than an elk, but probably like right around pony size. Them things are fucking big.
Yeah, they're huge. Definitely hope that those points pay off one day and I get to do that hunt.
Shit, I hope that fucking game operation loses its fence in a hurricane or some shit, and we get some Pierre Davids out.
What about you, Josh?
I mean, shit. I don't know, man. I've been
Outside of ducks, because we
Outside of
already
ducks?
talked about.
I tried a lot of snook fishing last year. Did a lot of snook fishing. I couldn't seem to fucking bring home a slot snook, man. Short ones, hooked up to a few that were too big, but I couldn't seem to bring home a slot snook. I asked a few people, "Come on, man! I know you get them on. I'll get on them all the time, man. Hook a brother up, you know." And
I know a good spot for them.
yeah, so I tried, but it's, you know, me and my girlfriend. My girlfriend's real good at catching bait. You know, she catches. I have a bunch of finger mullet in the freezer. So yeah, we were spending so much money on bait that we started catching our own, because it was like, what the hell's the point of spending, you know, $60-$70 every time you go out on between food and bait and gas? You know, how about spend $20 on gas, bring some sandwiches, and catch your own bait? So I tried a lot of that. We caught a lot of cool fish, you know, other than snook. I caught my first permit and shit like that. So we did a lot of fishing, but other than that, man,
Slot snook is the go-to.
yeah, I want to catch me a slot snook. I want to catch me a redfish. I know a few people to go to catch me a redfish. So yeah, I think I think I don't know about the fishing future as far as right now. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on, but
Yeah, a lot of life changes coming up.
oh yeah, man, that's just life. That's why we hunt. You know, because some people can't get out there like we do right now. I've hunted my ass off this season. I've spent a
I'm
lot of
tired,
time.
boss. We were hunting the last 7 days real hard.
He's hunted the last.
Tired.
I worked like
I've been watching y'all stories and you know me, I don't sleep much, so
Yeah.
I'll be up at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, Josh posted a reel, and y'all boys are out there at the corner store getting ready to get out there in that marsh
yeah. At the
all week
pilot
long,
or at the
7 days straight.
racetrack. Pull up to the
was
Wawa.
the first day. Today was the first day we actually got to the spot. We were like, we're not gonna go out. We just sat there in the truck, slept for the first hour, and
It was so goddamn
waited
cold
for the
this morning.
sun.
Oh, yeah.
Waited for
It
the
was
sun.
cold.
You
to
guys head north or local?
We were south of, I guess you would say west of here,
Oh, okay.
way west. So yeah, I guess relatively local, but
Yeah, it's been cold.
Yeah, we
Florida
sat there
Florida's
and-
been cold.
Sat there and watched it. We're gonna go hit there in the morning. Speaking of, we're probably gonna fucking wrap this up here soon. Because what time is it? It's 10:30, buddy. We're not gonna have any sleep at this rate.
it's okay,
Gotta get up
boss. Speaking of hunting hard,
Gotta
I've-
get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, I've hunted real hard this season. Like I've taken a lot of days to be able to hunt, but I haven't taken any days to relax. Like today, I kind of relaxed a little bit. Today, we still got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and went out and looked at birds, but we slept in the truck. Stayed in the truck and didn't unload all our shit and all our decoys. We kind of just scouted around and poked
Right.
around. And we were, but I've been hunting so hard that the 2 days that his buddy's been in town, my brain has been fucking mush. I have not been able, like, my thinking process has been so bad.
Speaking has been really hard.
Talking, dude, my English
That's that
has
sleep
not been-
deprivation.
yes, bro. I've probably regularly in the last month, I've probably slept between 3 and 5 hours a night, for every day in the last fucking 20 days or 30 days almost. So
That's what I've been doing for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
My sleeping pattern is terrible.
yeah, I give it to you, man. I don't know how you're operating.
And I wake
but,
up with like all the energy in the world the next day. It's
no, my
crazy.
CPU would be running on error mode. dog.
But yeah, sleep is very important. So
Yes.
make sure
Yeah.
y'all are getting that out there.
yeah, if you feel like you can't drive, you probably shouldn't drive.
Yeah.
There's been a few days.
Yeah, that's worse than driving drunk, bro.
Yeah, there's been a few days me and my brother have gotten up and been like, "Yo, bro, I can't fucking keep my eyes open for the life of me. The only reason we're standing here in the kitchen is because I either felt my way here or I memorized it. So we should probably just get up late. And sometimes you have days where you're like, oh, all right, let's go out in the afternoon. You end up having better days.
Yeah.
So if you can't. Today was one of those days where I'm glad I drove, but by the time we got to the spot, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to paddle. Because usually I wake up, you get the blood pumping, you start paddling. But today I was like, yeah. John was like,
fine.
we're gonna unload these boats, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that, boss.
Your body just once it gets to that point, it's like, all right,
yeah,
this shit ain't happening.
yeah,
You ain't gonna do it. All right.
Yeah,
Watch me work.
exactly. Yeah, let them cook, but right now you gotta let them cool down.
I think so getting in more fishing and all that was
Yeah,
for your
it was-
2025.
Yeah, I'd like to get into a little bit more. At least putting a few fucking slot snook in the freezer. I haven't even fucking tried one. I want to make a sandwich or a taco. Goddamn it!
They're really good.
I like speck though. We have some
Spec is good too. We got plenty of spec. I got a fire spec spot.
Oh yeah,
Not too far from here.
Oh yeah, shit, we're gonna have to hit that up.
Close.
Oh,
Real
yeah.
close. But for me, as far as 2025 goes, a big goal of mine is connecting on a turkey. I haven't
yeah.
killed a turkey
I think me and
since I
John
was
gave
in
up on that.
since I was in my early 20s, bro.
You're probably right.
I fucking gave up on that. I was like, I started seeing him give up on that turkey shit, and I was like, yeah.
We talked about it on the
This
podcast
turkey
last
shit,
time.
yeah, this turkey shit is for the fucking birds. And me and him just started really focusing on deer and duck, and I'd like to do a few more python hunts. I've
Oh yeah,
put it
yeah.
down.
2025, I'd like to.
Let's
do
fucking
some
go out.
python
we'll go
hunts for
fucking
sure.
make content or some shit. That'd be fucking.
I'm
fun.
about it.
We'll do that. Get baked, drive around, try to fucking avoid Mikasuki and MPS. And
They down
go.
there.
Oh yeah, they down there. But
Dick.
so are the fucking snakes. It ain't no secret. There's a few monsters down there. You just got to run into them.
Shit, I've driven around in that area and freaking you see them on the side of the damn
Yeah.
road, crossing the street.
I think I've seen a caiman when I was driving down there one night I was hunting. I think I seen a caiman, then I put the truck in reverse and I backed up, and right where I thought I seen it, it was gone, which makes me think I seen a caiman.
Yeah, you know how we were talking about the marsh taketh and
Yeah.
giveth back sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go sell a couple pythons. It'll give back.
Yeah.
The marsh will be real happy about
Sometimes it gets slow, man. You got to find someone to sell it to.
that. Yeah.
You know, I know people that do stuff with their skins, and you know the market. Sometimes the market's not there. So, yeah, the swamp giveth, and the swamp taketh back.
That's for sure.
2025 though, that's the goals.
I want to find more money. From the marsh.
Yeah,
That's my goal.
Find.
Get your buddy back down
Yeah,
here.
tell-
right.
well, shit. Maybe we'll find the pack.
Yeah, maybe we'll find the rest of it.
we ought to take him along the beach. You know, call him. He's at the beach now.
Yeah, maybe shit will start just. Maybe he's like a metal detector. Shit will just start sticking to him or something like that.
He's just a money magnet.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't say his name on the podcast. Someone would probably try to kidnap him.
Yeah, right.
Fucking beat him with
Keep
a
it
bat.
confidential.
You pull up to work and you're like, what the fuck is this guy?
That's funny.
The only other thing that we had on the list to talk about for tonight, because we're coming up on 2 hours here, was Delta waterfowl.
Hell yeah.
We talked about Delta waterfowl in the last episode that we did, and there's actually this episode is going to be releasing relatively quick, way faster than I released it the last time we did a show. I'm probably going to release it either tomorrow or the day after, but Delta Waterfowl is having their local chapter here, having a banquet on February 1st at
Yeah.
the
Rachel Ranch.
We were having
Rachel
a Rachel
Ranch.
Ranch in Loxahatchee, out there by 200th.
So anybody that's interested, that's local in Florida and wants to come down to the Delta Waterfowl Palm Beach chapter,
Yeah, they're raffling off a lot of stuff.
A lot of fun stuff. A lot of guns.
Decoys get raffled off. A lot of guns this year getting raffled off. Decoys getting raffled off. Bunch of hunting gear.
It's not just shotguns. You know, it's pistols, rifles, all kinds of guns. You know,
Yeah.
guns for her.
I
guns
know
for
she
him.
was raffling off a boat one time
Yeah, we
at
raffled
the
off-
outdoor expo.
Yeah, actually, a bunch of people bought tickets for it during the banquet, but they didn't sell enough tickets for it, so they pushed it off the drawing of the raffle to the expo so they could sell more tickets on it, and they wound up pulling the tickets at the expo, and a guy at the expo won it.
Oh,
He didn't
nice.
expect to win it. He was like, he went all the way out to Fort Pierce, you know, and he was like, well, I'm on my way back, you know, if you guys can stick around. Like, yeah, I mean, you won it. It's your boat. We're not going to fucking leave it here.
Yeah.
So try to hurry up. So he came down, brought a trailer, and yeah, he won himself a nice boat. It was a nice, I was kind of jealous. I would have liked to have that boat.
Yeah, bro,
I put in a few tickets, you know.
same. I was hoping I won.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of raffle items, you know. There's going to be good drink, good food. It's a good time.
We had a lot of fun last year. You know, a lot
Yeah,
of hunts
I
got
missed last
raffled.
year's. I'm definitely going to this one. I know you're not going, John, but are you going to this?
I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it, but I'm gonna if I'm gonna be around that day, I'll try to make an appearance. You know, I'll make it. So
Definitely is
I
a
don't know.
fun time.
it's a
Good time.
great time. I had a wonderful time last time. They have silent auction. They have the live auction. They have good, like I said, good food, good drink. A lot of people. You talk duck. Everything goes back to duck hunting, conservation. You know, it's the Duck Hunters Organization. We also have the youth hunts coming up. Those are going to be on February 8th, I believe.
This
Seven-
Saturday we have the veterans.
This Saturday is the veteran hunts.
Is the wounded warrior hunt.
I
Right?
believe so. That's going to be, what day is that? The 11th? So,
Saturday. Yeah.
or excuse me, the 14th?
Saturday. This Saturday.
Yeah, so it's the 11th.
Veteran hunt.
Yeah, that's the Wounded Warrior hunt. So,
They do a lot of stuff for
yeah, they
a
do
little bit of
along with-
everybody.
Along with UWF and STA One West, you know, they set up a big shebang for the One West Youth Hunt this year. Like I said, I think it's February 8th for the youth hunt. They're gonna have like a airboat buggy show there. They're gonna have kids raffles. They're gonna give out decoys. They give out, you know, someone. I think a shotgun's gonna get raffled off there at that one. So it's a good time. They're gonna be having burgers and hot dogs on the grill and stuff like that. So everyone, you know, goes in, hunts the morning, comes out. They get lunch. They get raffles. You know, it's a good time. I think they're gonna have a bounce house for the kids. So yeah, Delta
And
does a lot. I
Definitely
fucking
sounds
love
like it's
Delta.
gonna be fun. I'm heading out there for sure.
Take your kid out, man.
Yeah.
Even if you
No,
don't, if you don't hunt, get in on the raffle. You know, it'll be a good time. He'll see the airboat, the buggy, and it's right there at One West. You're 10 minutes out.
Yeah, not too far from here.
Yep. So yeah, shout out Delta. Shout out Stacy.
Shout out to Stacy.
You know, Stacy's a G.
So for anybody that's interested on making that banquet, it's on February 1st.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find Delta on Facebook by searching Delta Waterfowl Palm Beach chapter.
Yeah, and if you're not in Palm Beach, if you're somewhere else in the state and you guys are looking to start a chapter, you guys have a group of friends or a group of people that want to start a Delta Waterfowl chapter, you guys can reach out to Stacy Whittam. You know, you look her up, Palm Beach, Delta Waterfowl, Florida, Georgia on Instagram. You'll find her, reach out to her, and if you guys have a group of friends that want to start a chapter, you know, and you guys aren't necessarily here or somewhere else in the state and don't have a local chapter, you got to travel real far for it, reach out to her, and she might be able to help you out to start a local chapter.
What was it? Who was the local that started the chapter for Palm Beach?
Chase Addy.
Chase Addy.
He helped facilitate it. Justin Baker's really good at it. Jessica Rini does a bang up job. You know, she's put in a lot.
Shout out to all those people.
Justin Baker's old lady Nicole. You know, they do a lot. You know, those people.
They take care of they do a really good job with the youth hunt. The youth hunt. And,
all those names specifically, man. They do those 4 or 5 people
Doing a lot behind the scenes.
Do a lot, man. I shout out to them. You know, they do a lot.
That's awesome.
So
I'm sure I'll see all of them there at the show.
Oh yeah, all of them. All more than that. You'll see plenty of people at the show at the banquet. So yeah, you want to eat barbecue or is it? Yeah, we're having Mission Barbecue, so it'll be a good time.
Nice.
Come out.
Definitely out there.
for a good cause, you know.
Yeah, it goes back to ducks, man. You spend money and it goes back to ducks.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah, have a good time.
Keep it going on for generations and generations after us. That's what it's all about.
That's the important part, man. You just keep doing it, and other people are going to gravitate to it. I try to take out everyone that I take out asks me,
when are we going again?
Well, not only that, but why don't you guide, man? And it's like, man, I've already figured out that I don't want to guide. I want to take people out and have a good time. You know, so if you're new, you know, like my buddy Tony is a new guy. He's like, man, I want to go out, and I was like, man, just get your licenses together, you know. And he got his licenses together, and we went out. And he's like, man, I should have done this sooner. And he was one asking me, why don't you guide, bro? I think you would be a really good guide. And it's like, I don't feel right taking money for doing something like this, man. I like it too much.
I hear you. I'm the same way.
I want it. This is something I want to share with the world. You know,
Yeah.
I wish there was more duck hunting all over the world. You know, so that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm always down to take new people out.
Hell yeah.
The whole money aspect of it, I could care less about that.
That's
Me
why
watching somebody knock down their first duck is priceless.
That's why I like the fact that I have so much equipment now. It's like, just come on, man. I even have the shotgun.
Yeah, you don't even need a gun. Just tag along.
It's like, yeah. If you can, usually I just tell them, if you have your licenses, bring a box of shells. Maybe help me with some gas. If you're fucking broke, man, just come on. Let's go hunt. You know. So
Guarantee
how I
you're gonna
feel about
like
it.
it,
Oh yeah.
especially duck hunting.
It's sometimes it's slow, but you know you get to really see some really beautiful sunrises and sunsets, and you have a good time.
I've taken ever since our last show. I've taken out a lot of newbies last season, this season, and they're all hooked now.
Hell yeah, yeah. I've hooked onto a few people that are one specific Tony's ate up with it. I've taken him out a handful of times, and he's like, dude, I don't know why I didn't do this shit sooner.
Yeah,
I wish I did this sooner.
pretty much the same reaction I got out of 99% of the people. I had one person that I took out, and they were like one of those people that's like 30 minutes goes by. So, yeah, I don't think any ducks are coming today. And, you know,
Yeah.
Oh, so how long does this usually take?
2 minutes go by.
and-
Where are the ducks?
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, well, this is clearly not for you.
Yeah, well, you get one.
I mean, I drug them through some shit, though, to get to the
Oh,
spot
yeah,
that we
don't.
went to.
I
I
don't-
baptized everybody
don't get me wrong.
the same way.
I kind of spoiled Tony taking him to the duck factory, but I don't really consider those other 2 trips that we went out was duck hunting, because we went out and we fucking busted our ass and didn't see shit. And so I kind of consider that duck factory hunt. You got a limit.
Yeah.
What do you know? A first time duck hunting, get the limit.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
spoiled him though. I spoiled him because now we got to work for him. It's not always like that.
Yeah.
It's never.
But he
like
knows
that.
that.
It's not. He knows that. He's very well aware of that. but I still kind of spoiled them. I wish that was my first hunt. Shit.
For real, me too. Like I said, I only killed three ducks my first hunt.
Yeah, right. I mean, shit. My first hunt, we creamed a bunch of whistlers. It was a big old flock of whistlers. We decimated, but it was the day before was actually my first hunt. We didn't see a duck in the sky. It was bad.
Yeah.
We went back to the spot the next day and we almost got limits. And then this guy introduced me to the drug of duck hunting.
Sorry. Great, isn't it?
Hey, dude, way better than any drug you'll ever take.
I agree. Everyone asks like, what's your number one season? Is it deer? Is it turkey? What is it? It's always going to be
Fucking duck.
It's always going to be ducks every time I get asked that question. It's an adrenaline rush when you see some ducks working a freaking decoy spread out there, and
There's nothing like it.
there's nothing like it. There's nothing.
You can't compare.
No,
I
definitely.
don't know
the
any
best
deer
drug ever.
blind you could fucking sit there and make sausage patties and breakfast sandwiches
Yeah,
out.
Right.
Fucking
You know?
Coffee, the whole spread.
animal parts and an onion.
Yeah, animal parts and an onion.
That's what we've been eating. We've been taking out fucking eggs or venison or whatever. We cook it, saute an onion
Right there
put
in
it
the
on
field.
there. Yeah,
That's
saute
the
an
life.
onion, put some venison or put some duck down or something, and put some eggs on it. So instead of duck eggs and venison or whatever we're calling it, just animal parts and an onion.
Yo, shout out to Easy
Thompson
Thompson
on the fucking honey buns,
on the
bro.
fried honey buns. This man had some honey buns in a pan in his duck blind, and it blew me and Josh's fucking mind.
This
We were
boy
like,
put the honey buns on the griddle. What?
and
Yeah,
I tried
that
it
changed
shortly
my life.
after that.
I haven't
and
tried it yet, but that changed my life just seeing it.
fucking fire.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Shit, you trying to do that tomorrow morning? Go put some honey buns on the fucking griddle.
Shit, we didn't clean any birds. If we had, I can take some duck out. We can make some poppers.
You have breaths. We should probably wrap this up, man. Talking about duck, we should probably get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the last topic that we had on the show. Was pretty much Delta waterfowl.
Hell yeah.
But this is episode number 4.
Hell yeah.
Back with Josh and John. Was another fucking great show. Definitely gonna do this again.
Hell yeah. We'll keep it coming. We'll try to do it more often.
Yeah, like I said, I ran into that little mental health crisis and had to battle that and get right.
You gotta
But,
get right, bro. That's the
now,
way it is.
Now we're flowing with consistency and we're gonna keep these things rocking.
Yeah. Hopefully if you like it, let us know.
And you guys, I'll tag their Instagram handles on the Spotify page, and that's it for us, guys.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
checking out.
Peace.
Catch you next time.
Peace.